Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Shadow and Sun Show. Today, we are finally doing another one of these. We are. Hold on, let me turn this off. Today, we are going over the conspiracy theory iceberg, and not just going over the topics, but we are going to, I guess, go through them and see which ones we think are real and which ones we think are a bunch of nonsense. Um, Today, or I guess most of the time, we're going to be having me and Shadow, and Bear, and Raven, who isn't here yet.
She'll get here when she gets here.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show, Bear. Good to have you on again.
Thank you. I'll do my best to be here when I can for this, but I can't promise to always be here for this because, life gets in the way.
We totally get it. He's got school coming up, and as we go through, like we were talking just a minute ago, there's a whole, as we get to the next tiers, we're all gonna need a little bit of research time and things like that. We're looking at hundreds, if not 1,000, just on the conspiracy theory iceberg map or poster or image. There are 10 tiers, and each tier has got crazy stuff, and they get crazier as you go deeper below the surface.
Absolutely. It's crazy.
Yeah, even on this one, there were a couple I'd never heard of, and a couple, that may be red herrings or what have you. Well, why don't you explain that, Jackson?
Oh, the red herring idea or the parrot theory?
Yes.
It is believed that because some of the stuff on this image, this iceberg, if you will, is real information that is like dangerous to even discuss, and is like has a bunch of legal trouble with it. There's a lot of stuff here that is purposely put there to as a sort of alibi, like a bit of a spoiler, but some of them are things like The Simpsons is real footage, which is obviously not true. So
there's some real woo-woo out there.
Yeah. So if someone's going through this and sees something very real and very dangerous, and right next to it is something like that, they might just assume that the person who made it doesn't really know everything about this. They're just throwing everything they can find on it, and it's a sort of like to, I guess, ease suspicion or something like that.
It's sort of an insurance policy versus them being, targeted or accused of things. It's like, this is all just for fun, so, take it where you will kind of thing. What's up, TCG and Cal Vanoni? Welcome to the show. So it's kind of like an insurance policy. It's like, see, we weren't really serious, but they're really serious.
All right. I guess hold on. Let me find the first page. I guess you guys ready to start with the first topic?
Certainly.
Affirmative.
Yep. All right. So the first topic. Also, I'm going to be giving a brief overview of all of them, and then we'll go around discussing like a sentence or two, what we think about them. The first one is fake news. Fairly self-explanatory. The news says things that they know are not true for political motivations. I guess I start with it, or does Bear start? How are we doing this? Okay, Bear, you go
show,
first.
man. You decide.
Yeah. We'll let Bear. We'll go in like clockwise order. Bear, me, if Raven shows up, and then you end it so that you can roll right into the next one.
So right. You want me to tell you what I think about the fake news conspiracy? It's not a conspiracy. I worked in news broadcasting. It's absolutely true. If it bleeds, it leads. Negative sells. every single media company out there is owned by some corporation that has corporate interests, especially when it comes to things like politics and getting you to adhere to certain things. And in the days of the World Economic Forum and BlackRock and all that other stuff we're dealing with these days, it's 100% accurate. I mean, according to the news, Trump said if he loses the election, it'll be a bloodbath for America. But according to the video I watched where he said that, he said if he doesn't win, the Chinese infiltrating the car market via Mexico will be a bloodbath for the American car industry. Yet somehow MSNBC clearly told me he said it's going to be a bloodbath if he doesn't win the election. There's your fake news. That's exactly what it is. So yeah, fake news, 100% agree. Believe it.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself, Bear. And a key component is society's sudden short-term memory loss. We have become a society that will forget things in a week because of the next new thing. Take your pick. I'm going to go with the Olympics right now. Even that right now, they're saying we didn't see what we saw with our own two eyes. Don't believe your lying eyes. Believe what they say. And I'm going to say no thanks. Simple as that.
Yeah. I don't really think there's much I can add. I agree with both of you. I maybe when it was written, it was a bit more of a controversial topic, but at this point, I think it's safe to say that there's a lot of it. There's a lot of it out there.
Fact check.
Yeah. Hold up. Wait for them to fact
Cindy
check us.
Cindy says you look fabulous there, Jackie. George says howdy, Bear. And Cal says we lie to you news. Raven says the link's not letting her in. Not a lot I can do about that, Raven. I literally can't resend you the link. You just have to try, or Jackie can risk putting the link in the chat.
I mean, isn't it possible?
Raven, do you know how to open an incognito tab in your browser, Raven? Because that might help.
No, it's saying something's up with her camera now. Jackie's on my laptop. She's probably on a different device. That's no worry, Raven. We're going to be here for a little while, and if you missed the fake news, you can always watch it later.
All right. The second one on the list is cryptids, specifically cryptozoology creatures, as it says on the list. Basically, the most textbook definition is that there are creatures that exist that aren't fully documented. There are sightings of them, but they aren't officially recorded as being extant species. Some of these go from just animals that were extinct, or that are extinct but supposedly aren't, and others are magical beings that may or may not exist. Going to you, Bear?
Oh, absolutely. I grew up in the northeastern end of the Adirondacks, where I grew up is a place called the Chickasha Mountains. And just like everybody along the Adirondack and the Appalachians, that whole run, you see things, you know things, you hear things. It's the way it goes. It's absolutely legit. Now, not all of them are legit. Some of them are absolute nonsense. But, Sasquatch, 100%. I lived in the Pacific Northwest, 100%. Do not doubt it for a second.
Well, as for me, I did a little more research, trying to stay away from the Bigfoot thing, because if I don't see it, I usually don't believe it. But there are things. I remember just a couple of years ago seeing all kinds of new critters coming out throughout Asia. All kinds of just a little bit different, a little bit odd. A couple of them were really weird looking, and to think that we've scoured all of the earth and we've cataloged every single thing, that's ridiculous. But when it comes to some of the weirder stuff, show me a dead body and we'll talk. Otherwise, people drink out in the woods, and
Okay,
you know,
listen. I've been blind, stinking drunk. I've never hallucinated while on alcohol. Stop your nonsense. Alcohol
well,
is
you know
not
what
a
I mean.
hallucinogen. Don't use that. That
I
is
was
a crux nonsense. Now, hang on. Have you been to the Pacific Northwest? Yes, you have. You know that planes go missing in the Cascade Mountains that they never find. So if there is a large, semi-intelligent hominid with a small number that is actively trying not to be seen, man, people can't be found in the Pacific Northwest. You telling me a
oh yeah.
Sasquatch couldn't hide? Please,
Uh, well,
please.
when it comes to that, like it described exactly as you say. I could get behind that. Um, but when there's tales of these things like doing the grape to humans and stuff like that, you
No,
would have
that's just,
thought, right? When it gets to the weirder stuff that they can teleport and walk through trees and all this other weird stuff. And they have telepathy and that's just yeah, the
yeah, but
calls just get
you're going down a rabbit
stale.
hole there, Shadow.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah,
rabbit hole.
yeah.
I'm talking about the surface level. The concept of certain cryptids, absolutely agree with.
Totally.
Raven, my God, I want to do tech support for you, Raven. I swear.
Well, it part of it, in my opinion, is her tech has like some of her devices have been dropped numerous times, and there's no amount of help you can do without cracking it open with a soldering iron and things like that to possibly fix things. Um, just
Raven,
keep trying, Raven.
grab
We're
your
not going
phone,
anywhere.
connect with your phone, and just hold your phone in front of you. That's the way to do it right now.
Mm-hmm.
I guess
No, I'm saying I'll believe in Bigfoot when someone drives to the center of town with one strapped to the hood of their truck.
okay. I guess my view on cryptids is some are absolutely real. I don't think that's uh, that debatable. Uh, that some exist. How many exist? I don't know. Things like Bigfoot, probably. Uh, Once you go further into it, probably not. I couldn't give any. I'm not too big into the whole cryptozoology thing. Um,
No.
but they're like
That's
very clear
Bruce's
some don't
domain.
exist. But there are some that clearly do.
Like, I don't know if this is going to come up later in the iceberg, but like skinwalkers, that's just nonsense. Like that's this generation's favorite thing to call everything that they don't understand is a skinwalker, right? I've never like I knew about skinwalkers back in the '80s, and it was a rare thing you never heard about it. And now it's like everywhere, everything. Oh, it's a skinwalker. It's a skin. Okay, so that's bullshit. But Bigfoot, yeah, I gotta say, I lean on the side of yeah, he's a real deal.
I believe Skinwalkers is on this tier, so you're gonna.
Oh, goody! I get to talk shit about them again. Yay!
Yeah. All right. The next one is Big Pharma. Uh, Pharmaceutical companies engaging in malpractice and not too good deeds with, uh, be it with scams to ensure more money flowing in to the markets for doctors and hospitals and all that, to some more, I guess, wild things that will probably be on the iceberg later. So I not really. We'll get more in depth with that in probably a later episode. But just the general concept of uh, malpractice in the pharmaceutical industry. Bear, you go.
So, have you ever heard about the Bayer lawsuit over a HIV infected medicine sold in the third world?
No.
I have not heard of that
So this is a
specific.
real thing. This isn't like a conspiracy. Bayer got into a lot of trouble and had to pay a lot of money because they sold HIV or AIDS infected, was the way they said it in the news, medicine to third world countries that they couldn't sell in North America or Europe, and they didn't want to destroy it and take a loss. So some executive figured out they could sell it and get some cash out of it. Cost them a couple $100 million, I think, in settlements. Big Pharma is 100% not a conspiracy. That's just a fact. I mean, this thing must be pre 2020 because
It
my God,
absolutely is.
after 2020, there's no doubt in our minds that it's 100% pure. Um, you know, dude, 100%. 100%. Not even gonna debate
Yeah,
it.
I think this is 2019.
I think it was around
The image.
2017.
Oh, okay. But there's that saying that goes around that uh, there's no profit in a cure, only treatment. And when you're talking about a big corporation, um, you would be absolutely stunned if you knew the different kinds of departments they have for, you know, keeping things out of the public eye. Let's just say it that way. And to think that a multi-billion-dollar corporation wouldn't have a couple of hard pipe hitting MFers doing their dirty work, amongst other things, pretty naive.
Yeah, I. That's really all that can be
Money's
said.
a power. Money itself is a powerful drug, and people will do crazy things to get it and keep it.
At least that's what Pink Floyd told me.
Yeah. All right.
This isn't fun without Raven here, because Raven would be giving us the woo-woo aspect that the three of us are missing. We're all rational thinking human beings who don't say crazy
exactly.
shit at random efforts. Raven, get in here. We need you in here going, well, the Akashic record clearly states, come on, get in there.
It says she said that she's stuck on the allow camera access. I don't know. I presume she's tried allowing camera access. Um,
This is why I use StreamYard.
But-
We have less of those problems, but that's okay. We'll use this West Stream.
Yeah, well, speaking of conspiracies, I'll talk to you later about StreamYard. Now they literally did not want to take my money to upgrade the plan. Just ridiculousness.
yeah,
that'll be the X tier of this Iceberg, StreamYard.
yeah, it's all the way down at the bottom. It goes very deep. All right, the next one is Atlantis, a fairly well known concept of the lost continent in the Atlantic. There are extensions of it relating to all sorts of things, but just the general concept of a lost continent in the Atlantic. Bear, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. Why not? I mean, the amount of things we found under the water so far, why not? Absolutely. No problem at all believing that Atlantis existed. Now, what it was, how it was, all that, don't know. But, yeah. There's enough stuff out there to make me go, something's up. I mean, read your, what's his name? Graham Hancock. I mean, he clearly can show you with photographic evidence there is some sort of ancient civilization that spanned a large part of the globe. So, Atlantis, sure. Lemuria, whatever you want to call these things, I'm in. Fully in, 100%.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you, Bear. My problem with it is the magical, supernatural, sci-fi elements that are always attributed to it because of Plato's allegory, the Critias and I forget the other one, that were allegories, not historical accounts. As long as there have been people telling stories, they've been telling fictional stories, and like they say down in Texas, never let the truth get in the way of a good story. You want to let Raven in? I think that's her.
Oh,
Just in time to stomp all over for my opinions of it. I need some tangible proof, and anecdotes and things like that do not amount to tangible. I want to see some artifacts that they made in Atlantis engraved in them, that sort of thing, and then which will never happen. But
I think we know the dynamic now.
Hi, Raven.
Hello.
Welcome to the show.
I don't know what's wrong with my stuff here because I could not get on. I had to send the link to somebody else and have them resend it back to me to get it to work. And I still
it's Monsanto getting back at you. They've hacked your system. They're trying to keep you down.
And as soon as you mention the name, oh well, that's just lovely.
That's so Raven.
She's gonna blame me for it. You watch.
Yeah,
Somehow it's my fault. Not supposed to mention them.
Yeah.
Helping Raven now. Cindy, nice. There she is again. Great Donovan song. I'm not sure what that means. And I'll keep up on the chat for Jackie so he can focus. Cindy says Jackie for president. You have no idea how right you are.
You're biased. Your opinion doesn't count.
I know. But I'm going to do everything I can to, set him on the right track. And, once I hit about 60 or 70, he's on his own.
I'm going to try to get my camera working here, but
all right, Raven, don't wait for a little time you have talking about nonsense, Raven. Talk about the actual nonsense we want to talk about. Come on, Raven.
Okay.
What's your take on Atlantis?
Atlantis is real. Atlantis is real. Absolutely. There's and I'm basing this on over 2,000 hypnotized people using that cute.
The Lemurians got her. They don't want her telling the truth about Atlantis.
They really don't. They're trying their best.
So the best conspiracy theory I heard about Atlantis was the Atlantean Lemurian theory. And it goes like this. The Atlanteans are the assholes, and the Lemurians are the repressed, downtrodden people that the Atlanteans did this to, and that Mount Shasta is a Lemurian stronghold, and they want to build an underground railroad to Canada. Literally, an underground railroad, not figurative, literal, to Canada, to British Columbia, to smuggle the oppressed Lemurians out of America, which is an Atlantean dominant state. That was my favorite Atlantean theory I ever heard.
That is amazing. Wow. Should we wait?
I not heard that.
Or
we can always let her say her piece when she gets back in, provided they haven't black SUV'd her.
all right, Nostradamus. This is one I'm not too educated on. Hopefully, you guys can make up for that. Okay, this is good. From what I know, Nostradamus was a guy who lived a long time ago and made quite a few predictions that supposedly a lot of them came true, and he was seen as some sort of prophetic figure predicting the future or something. Supposedly predicted the world wars and other events like that. Bear, I see you're excited to talk about him, so go ahead.
Michel de Nostradamus is the most biggest pile of bullshit you will ever run into. It is such bullshit. His quatrains were written in such a way that they're so easily applied to other things. They were written in French and then translated into English, and people who translate them in English translate them to suit what they want them to say at that moment in time. There's all this magic stories that have grown up around him, and he was able to cure plague victims and never caught the plague, and this and that and the other thing, and they said that when whoever drank from his skull would have the same powers as him, but those who dug up his grave would die, and when they did, a stray bullet from the French Revolution hit one of the guys who drank from the skull and killed him, and around the skeleton's neck was a plaque with the date on it, and it's just absolute fucking weapons grade woo-woo. Okay? It has been debunked so many fucking times, it's about as useful as crystals and tarot cards. Okay? We're at that level of woo-woo.
How do I follow that?
No prediction ever made came true. There is no irrefutable evidence of anything he ever said having any merit. None of the stories about his life were true. It's all absolute bullshit propaganda created by theosophics and new age idiots. But your mileage may vary.
How the hell do I follow that? Considering I agree with every word you said.
Early into it, that's nice.
I'm just gonna sit this one out. You got Bear.
I studied that son of a bitch.
I did because people I've known have done so. It's like, check out this book, and I'm like, Yeah, that could have been anything. You know,
Yeah,
uh, it's
it's
just
insane. It's insane.
you know, it, I would be more inclined to believe it were more people capable of doing the same thing. But then again, maybe some of us are, but we don't. I guess attribute it to anything. But thinking that there's only like one guy like that every millennia or something like that. No, come on. Um, I could just picture, like 500,000 years from now, Alex Jones will be the prophet of the 21st century. Attributed to Satan. Did you
They're
picture?
calling
You
the
know what I'm
frog
saying?
gay.
That
We're
would be
telling
And
the frickin' frog's gay.
the guy will turn to his frog lover. Were you guys gay back in the day?
Red
Just
Dead,
crazy
baby, Red
shit.
Dead. Yeah, no.
People. I've developed a new phrase when it comes to uh, dealing with this stuff, and it's called wishful thinking. We need to
Yeah.
bring that back because that's what a lot of this is. Jackie, what do you think?
um from what I know, it's just what Bear said. A lot of vague statements that could be applied to a lot of things. Like a bad thing will happen in the future in this place, and then a bad thing happened, and everyone loses their mind. Uh,
In this place, and then the word for the place is really like misspelled and barely pronounceable, so it can be almost applied to 10 different places that are vaguely European named. Oh, yeah. Nostradamus. Ugh.
yeah. All right. Now we're going to go into Raven's favorite, which it would be cool if she was here to talk about it, but she'd probably be censored. Uh, we have chemtrails. Uh, Chemicals being put into planes that released through the contrails to do various different things to the people underneath them, and ranging from hypnosis stuff to fake snow for some reason. Bear, your thoughts?
And to make the frogs gay, I'm on the fence on chemtrails. I'm on the fence because I've seen enough footage of contrail dissipation versus these chemtrail dissipation rates and how long it takes for them to dissipate in the atmosphere, in the air, that I don't know. I honestly, on that one, I don't know. I would have to really study it, and I don't want to because that's the kind of rabbit hole that just leads to other things that just make me mad. So I'd say on that one, I'm on the fence. Shadow.
Well, if you noticed our thumbnail, Jackie actually added a plane leaving some chemtrails just for you, Raven, because we know this one's a big one for you. I wouldn't put it past any organization with the money to back it up to achieve their desired goals. And just because I'm paranoid doesn't mean people aren't out to get me, kind of thing. It wouldn't surprise me. And if I was a bad guy, a lot of times I look at these and think, if I was a bad guy, would that be one of my evil, world domination schemes? And gotta say, this could be on that list. Easy.
Yeah, could be. I don't know. I don't know.
I think
I mean, I've
chemtrails.
seen the cloud seeding stuff, so that's scary. Sorry, go ahead, Jackie. I apologize.
Um, they could be possible. It just most of my knowledge of the chemtrail conspiracy comes from very, admittedly very old, but very ridiculous YouTube videos of people losing their minds over the snow, thinking that the chemtrails are being used to make fake snow,
I
because like
remember that.
the snow isn't melting how I think it should melt, and
Never mind
this,
science. This is how I think snow should melt. That's not how.
yeah. Um, but when it comes to like the whole fake snow conspiracy, which might be on here somewhere, but that completely ridiculous. Chemtrails as a general concept, I'm sure they could be done. I'm sure it could be a thing that governments or organizations would or could do to achieve some desired effect. Um,
Well, just think of, sorry to interrupt, but it just came to me. just think of some of the things we've done in wartime situations and the things we've dropped or spread. Maybe not so much recently, but some countries they've done things where they didn't need an airplane. You know, take it up a notch and maybe.
Well, I mean, it's probably scientifically possible, and I'm sure they have the motivation. I guess. I'm also on the fence with it. I suppose I could be convinced that it's real. I don't think it's. I don't think it's the big issue, like the main cause of a bunch of issues that a lot of people think it is. It could be happening, but I think there are other things similar, like microplastics and things that I almost said the thing, but we're saving that to the end. But yeah, I was kind of hoping Raven would be able to come in here and give us the speech as to why they're absolutely real and responsible for all the world's problems.
All the world's problems.
That's a good one, Doc. Honestly, there being better delivery systems. I really can't think of a
Water?
better one. Other than just giving it, putting it in our food or water.
Yeah.
You got food, you got water, you got air. So
Save the thing. I don't know what the thing is, but cool. I will try. I will call it. Okay.
just calling her now. Yeah, we can always let Raven catch up. We're only so many deep into the iceberg.
Yeah. All right. UFOs. We're going with that one. UFOs. There are things in the sky that can't be explained. Most often believed to be alien spaceships coming down. Given that it's such a open-ended concept, I'll let everybody say what they think they usually are. So go ahead.
The one you will never get an argument from me on is UFOs, ARPs, whatever the hell you want to call these things, aerial phenomena. I way too many witnesses, way too many credible witnesses, way too many. I don't know what you're talking about from the government on this one to go. Yeah, I think it's real. I don't know what it is. I don't know where it's coming from. I don't know what the story is, but there is clearly, from the amount of footage I've seen in my life, from the amount of photos I've seen in my life, there is something going on. And when people say, well, why would the government deny it? Well, would you continue paying SAC NORAD Command if they couldn't control their airspace over North America? Would you be willing to see those big piles of money keep going to them every year if they can't handle their airspace? I certainly think people would be upset with that. And I certainly think, so one of the arguments you get about disclosure is there are people who say, there are people in this world who will freak the fuck out if you prove that alien life exists. They will lose their fucking shit. And then you get the smart, smug, city liberals who go, I don't think so. I think we're past that part in our life. Well, motherfucker, go live somewhere else. Try living outside of North America. Try living in the second world and the third world and see how people behave about things. See how they take science over there. There are still babies born as albinos in Africa who have had their arms cut off for witchcraft potions in 2024. Maybe you need to see outside your West Coast, left coast, East Coast, right coast bullshit and understand that there are a lot more people on this planet who absolutely believe in things that you think are absolute horseshit. And that's just the way it is. So disclosure is not beneficial to anyone in any way, shape, or form because it will just cause massive fucking chaos across the planet for a period of time. And a lot of people would die. And I think that would be a bad thing. So yes, I believe they're real. Yes, I believe the government knows way more than they're fucking telling us. And yes, I don't think we'll ever get full disclosure. Or if we get disclosure, don't believe what they're telling you. It's some sort of bullshit. That's my take on UFOs.
Similar, I would add that. Oh, that's a weird echo. I would add that you mentioned big giant piles of money. Well, oftentimes with those big giant piles of money, they use it to on experiments and experimental aircraft, things like that. If you think for one second they're going to tell us about the latest, whiz bang, flying machine that they've come up with, hell no. And if they did, they should be fired for doing so. National security is a thing, and if they come up with something that's going to save our ass, but they need to lie to us because it's under the umbrella of national security, then yeah. Now aliens, that's a whole nother rabbit hole. And again, I'm going to go with the Bigfoot theory. You kill one, you strap it to the front of your car, you bring it to the center of town. Show me it. Let me poke it a couple of times. I might believe it.
May I, before Jackie goes, deal with what you just said? Did you miss the part where I said I don't know what it is, and I don't think we know what it is, but I certainly don't believe it's all the government and it's all the military testing aircraft, because we do know the military tends to have technology 10 to 20 years ahead of what the public has. That's just the general rule at this time. Now, some stuff, no. But therefore, 40 and 50 years ago, when we were seeing aircraft that could accelerate and turn on a dime without killing, apparently, the occupants within, hopefully, or whatever, we still don't have those 40 or 50 years later in the public. We don't have that level of technology. And if we had that level of technology, I assure you, we'd be flying it around with flags on it to make sure Russia and China shit themselves every day, knowing what we can do. Just like we dropped nuclear weapons on Japan to let everybody know what we could do, or sorry, what you could do. I'm Canadian. There is absolutely no way that I will believe all UAPs or UFOs or whatever the fuck you call them these days are secret government technology. Some, absolutely. Others, who fucking knows? But there's clearly something not being told to us, and there's clearly something being hidden from us. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I have my own theories as to what else they might be, but I have nothing to back it up.
You're not going to go on your aliens don't exist, it's demons rant?
Yeah, I was hoping for the demon rant, because I love the demon rant, because when you strap a demon to the hood of a fucking car and bring it to the center of town for me so I can poke it with a stick a few times, I'll believe in your demons.
Or are you going to save that for a more in-depth discussion of a part 2 video?
I'm sorry, what?
Moving on. Media control. Basically the same as fake news, but I guess more specific and directed. I imagine fake news is just saying the media lies. Media control is saying the media is doing it to control you. Seems like the same thing to me, and I imagine everyone has basically the same thing to say about it as they did that time.
I think we can move on. I think we all agree.
Yeah.
Here's an example of media control. So the whole opening ceremony of the Olympics, Christians are going, it was a bastardization of Christianity and the Last Supper and all that. And then other people are going, no, it's actually a Saturnalia, and the riverboat thing was this mythological thing in France, the Lady of the Seine, and all this type of stuff. Who's right, who's wrong? I don't fucking know. But I know both medias are reporting it in different ways, the exact same story, both to further their own agenda. So that tells me all I need to know is that the media will never give you the fucking truth. Ever.
Yeah.
Unless it profits them. If it benefits them to tell you the truth, absolutely going to tell you.
Yeah. All right. The next one, I'm hoping you guys are going to have something to say about this one. The Mandela effect. Okay, this is going to be good.
Let Shadow go first while I get a drink of water to clear my throat.
Yeah. The effect is derived from an idea of people believing that, or common beliefs about several aspects of media that are very commonly held by a lot of people that are completely wrong. Common examples are the one that's named after Nelson Mandela, famous African guy, famous for doing African things. He was arrested and that's not even remotely wrong, by the way.
That is our school system at work for you folks. Wow.
Okay, I know he was. I know he was from South Africa, civil rights leader, fought against apartheid. I know what he actually did. I'm just saying that.
You're just being incredibly vague and trying to breeze through it.
Yes.
Again, for me, because a lot of the big theories revolve around, alternate dimensions are
Oh yeah.
clashing with
So
our own.
that's the theory that because so many people misremember. Oh, he died in that prison when he never did. It's like oh, it was an alternate timeline where he actually did die. The bear's back. We can get. Uh,
Yeah,
Oh,
I
sorry.
didn't get
My
a chance
turn up with
to.
Mandela effect bullshit. Okay, humans are stupid and don't remember things well. I'm not joking. They have literally done experiments where they've made people think they took a balloon ride they never took, and these people have passed polygraph tests talking about this fucking balloon ride they took that they never fucking took. Humans. So a buddy of mine was a biologist. He put it really well to me. He said humans are pattern-seeking monkeys. We look for patterns in everything. But as a result of that, whenever a pattern is presented, humans are also a herd animal. We are not, as much as we love to, I'm a lone wolf, I'm an eagle, I'm a this, we're fucking sheep. Okay? And we just want the quiet of the herd and the protection of the herd. So there is an absolute large percentage of the human species that will go along to get along and not even realizing they're doing it. So you show up and you say, hey man, I remember when Nelson Mandela died in prison, confusing it with Stephen Biko's murder, but that's beside the point. And there's a large percentage of the population who goes, yeah, me too. They completely believe it in their head. They're wrong, but they believe it in their head. When we go to court, the most what's considered the best testimony in court, eyewitness testimony. Eyewitness testimony is horse shit. Humans misremember stuff all the time. They did an experiment on this in California. They flew a drone over a crowded beach at sunset. And then they went and interviewed people about what they saw. And there were people talking, I saw, it was like a large cigar and there were portholes on the side and I could see aliens looking out, Humans are fucking morons at the end of the day. We're not as bright as we like to think we are. We're a bunch of fucking self-important assholes. The Mandela effect is horseshit. It does not exist. It is bullshit created by the internet. And that's the way it works, baby. It's just humans being humans. Make of that what you will.
I'm right on board with that one. I agree 100%. Again, when you get into the bigger versions of that theory, as to why it happens, the whole interdimensional nonsense, it proves my idea that it's wishful thinking. People want something special in their life that isn't there, and what a great way to, I'm part of the big thing. I'm part of this interdimensional transfer, and I'm one of the lucky ones that got to go into this new reality where things are different. Yeah, no.
When they turned on the Large Hadron Collider, it switched us to another. Fuck off. Just fuck off. TikTok is the fucking cancer of the Western mind. Sorry, I had to say it.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah, Cal's right. Cal's 100% right. And I know you two won't agree with me on this, but that's where religion comes from. That's where philosophies come from. It's from the need of the creature that we are to be social and bond and try and understand things we don't understand by making up fucking stories about them.
Yeah, and let's not forget, out of all the animals, we're the only animal that doesn't just, eat, shit, mate, and sleep. We got so much time to fill up. You know what I mean? We've had to come up with so many things to fill up all that other time. We could just be, pick your favorite of the four: eating, sleeping, crapping, and mating. We should be doing one of those four things a lot more. And I'm not going to say which one because everybody's different.
We should be sleeping a lot more. We don't sleep enough.
If we did more of that, why do you think our dogs are so happy? Because they're sleeping 18, 20 hours a day. The 4 hours they're up, they're like, yeah! And then 2 minutes later, they're sleeping again.
So the best line about it I ever heard in my life was the human race is a creature that is cursed by moving forward, but only able to see backwards. never able to exist in the moment. Because once you acknowledge the moment, it's now the past.
Well, there's a couple of moments we live in, but they're like 2 minutes at a
Not,
time if you're lucky.
no. The moment we understand in our brain something has happened right now, let's say I dropped this, that's now the past. While it was happening, my consciousness was processing it, and then when I became aware of it, it was the past all of a sudden. And that is the hardest thing for people to understand. They always say, oh, live in the moment, do this, do that. And then people, oh, look to the future, look to the future. We can't. We can make ideas about the future. Some really, really smart people can try and mold and shape the future, but we pretty much can only look backwards. That's the curse of our awareness. Moving forward, looking backwards, never in the moment. Dogs, they're just happy. My cats are not currently sitting on the couch going, oh my God, tomorrow is such a day. I gotta get up, I gotta lick my ass, then I gotta claw some stuff, I gotta fit in some naps. Like, they're not doing that. They're just existing. We can't. That's why dogs are happy. That's why cats are happy. That's why birds are happy, etc., etc., etc. But me, I'm an asshole, so what do you want?
Yeah. All right. Moving on to the next one.
No argument. You're an asshole.
Yeah. No. That's yeah. So it's because I got distracted by mom coming in. Malaysian Airlines flight 370 was a
Yeah, that's a heavy one, eh?
yeah.
That one gets weird when you get into it. It's like the Korea Flight 800 that the Russians supposedly shot down back in the 80s. So that's another one. You start getting into it and you start going, what? Wait a minute. I honestly don't know, but all I can say is we are 100% not being told the full story.
Yeah, I know there's some theories that there was like some sort of military base that it flew past and got shot down for that reason. Not too sure I believe that. I need to look into it a bit more. Might be something we bring up on the part 2. I don't know.
Well, I'd like to take this opportunity to let everybody know and remind people that a lot of these, especially at the upper level, are going to branch off and connect with other things. Now, the person who compiled this list, they may have done a lot. Obviously they did a lot of research, probably more than anybody we know. But this may be one of those theories that's going to connect to various things down the road, and we should keep our eyes open for some of those connections, because there's going to be some obvious ones throughout this trip, going deeper and deeper. And there's a few coming up that are like, we're going to be like, why is it on the list? How many other airplanes have mysteriously disappeared, or we believe might have been shot down? Maybe there's some sort of connectivity between that and something down the road, as well as some of the ones we're going to come across real soon here.
Yeah, but that Malaysian Airlines one, that is a sticky wicket to get into, and once you start getting into that rabbit hole, it gets weird fast.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Jackie?
I haven't looked into it as much as I wanted to. It was on the list of things that I think we'll probably talk about more later. I don't know from memory how much it connects to later on. That could just be bad memory on my part, but hold up, that just messed with my brain. Shadow, how are you messing with the chat? Anyways, yeah, it's I don't know what it is. The only thing I've heard was the military base theory, but that seems too. There's something that doesn't sit right with me about
Too
it.
surface level, easy. It's like an easy one, and then people will just go, okay, fine. Maybe it's actually something far more sinister. And welcome to the show, Fred. It's been like forever, dude. Forever since we've seen you. I hope the writing is going well. But yeah, I got nothing on this one. To be honest, nothing.
All right. This I know, Bear. You said you were wanted to talk about this more later. Skinwalkers slash Goatmen.
I grew up in the country. Okay. Oh, Raven's in the waiting room, guys.
Yeah, yeah. I was
Are-
just
I grew up. Oh my God, it's Raven,
Hello.
and she looks happy. Raven, you look so happy. Look at the smile on your face. Just a ray of
she's
light
just-
coming into the
she's
soul.
ready. She's ready to tear us all a new one. I could just sense it.
All right. Well, you know what? Then how about I'll yield the floor to Raven and take my time later.
Oh, okay.
Well, Raven, would you like to backtrack and knock out a couple that we went over that you were fuming at while you were fuming at technology at the same time? Oh, that was weird. You were looking like the girl from Ring for a second there. Did you see that, Bear?
I just thought of that.
This is.
I don't think
Okay.
Raven has audio. Does she have audio?
What you're saying?
Oh,
I
there
hear
she is.
every
Okay, she's got a lag.
We can hear you. It's laggy. Oh no.
Okay. Okay. Well, while Raven's figuring out her stuff, I'll. What?
I'm starting to think Raven's conspiracy.
I think Raven is a conspiracy theory. Yes, she's not real. She's an AI thing here to fuck with us. The Skinwalkers are a true, real Southwest American Native First Nations philosophy, theory, monster, cryptid, whatever you want to call it. The vast amount of Skinwalker stories you see on Reddit and on YouTube channels are absolute horseshit. I grew up in the country. I'm telling you right now, when you see shadows in the woods, I don't mean shadow in the woods, because when you see shadow in the woods, run. But when you see shadows in the woods, your brain just tries to make sense of it as best it can. It doesn't know what to fucking think, because is that a bobcat? Is that a fucking wolf? Is that a fucking owl? Like, we don't know. And our brain starts coming up with ways to solve it. So this whole Skinwalker obsession is like the Slender Man thing. It's an internet thing that caught fire and everybody wants to be part of the fucking club. The Goatmen thing, I don't know enough about that to say anything, but I know that fucking Skinwalker is bullshit. Shadow?
Yeah. When I first saw Skinwalker Ranch, the first thing I thought was, oh, here's some people who are going to make a ton of money.
Yeah. Skinwalker Ranch.
When money is involved and it's on TV or the internet, you can pretty much guarantee you're not getting the full and or real story. Now, Goatmen, I have never heard of Goatmen. I have painted a lot of Goatmen miniatures, but I have never heard of that until just really very recently. I was honestly thinking that they meant Dogmen, because that's like a new thing that
Michigan
20 years
Dogmen,
ago.
yeah.
20 years ago, I'd never heard of them. But then within like 4 or 5 short years, they're everywhere. And I've been studying this and following this crap for my whole life. I've got my old man's copy of Chariots to the Gods that I've had my whole life, which is 57 years. So the time I could read, I was reading stuff like that. I never came across any goatmen or dogmen. And then all of a sudden, they're like, everybody's got one as a neighbor. So I got to wonder if it's, not one of those Slenderman kind of things that people just, want to tell a story. And, that's fine. I get it. But, don't blow smoke up my ass and expect me to, enjoy it.
Don't blow smoke on my ass and tell me it's sunshine. Jesus.
Yeah.
Hi, Raven. Can you hear us now?
Hello?
It's like a seance. Is Raven with us? Raven, if you can hear us, give us a sign.
I'm seeing here that Raven doesn't have a microphone connected. Like, there's no audio setting. You might have to write on a piece of paper and show it to the screen or something.
Light a candle in the North Tower, Raven. Okay, well, what do we do now?
It just, it's funny because I did talk to her earlier on Messenger, and that works just fine. But this.
What if you call it on Messenger and just like have the speaker be super loud so we can all hear her?
Because I can't, because I'm using all the devices that work. You're using one, I'm using one.
Like I told you 70 times.
Yeah, maybe next time we can do that, or instead of.
It'd suck for her to miss these next 1, 2, 3, not that one, 4, 5, 6, 7 ones.
Sorry, hold on a second, guys. Better than Skywalker Ranch, agreed. Yeah, I don't know. I got nothing on this. This is frustrating, but we could always, if Raven manages to get her stuff working properly, we could just give her, like some time at the, of her arrival to go over whichever ones she really feels strongly about, or just give her a whole show. Oh, wait a minute. She's got a radio show, folks. If you haven't seen her over on 1-2 Radio, or I should say heard her on 1-2 Radio on the internet, she's got a regular show. We'll post that in the show notes later, where you can actually hear her in all her glory, talking about all these things. She'll probably just make a response video to all of this over there, because that always seems to work. Well, not always, but you know what I mean. But we will put a link to her stuff.
All right, I guess that moves us on to GMOs, which is genetic modification in animals and farming. If you were involved in the Happy Meat Farms video, which is all but one of us, that being Bear, we are quite familiar with this. I don't know if Bear is. He probably
what's the conspiracy on GMOs? They exist.
Probably.
They're real. They are there. Either through selective breeding or through science, we've been genetically modifying fruit, vegetables, and animals for fucking million years. I mean, good God. Like one of my favorite moments ever in the history of stupid fucking idiots talking with their mouths open. These Kirk Cameron evangelicals trying to explain the proof of God by using the banana. It fits in my hand. It perfectly fits in. It's easy to peel, allowing me to access the fruit. Yes, because we selectively bred bananas to do that. That's what GMO is. A GMO is just genetically modifying with science as opposed to nature. The point is, it's real. And now, if the conspiracy is it bad for us? Oh, fuck yes. It's fucking horrible for us. Like, we are living in a fucking cancer, diabetes, ADHD, autism fucking pandemic. And it's because of the food we eat. It's because of the garbage we put in our bodies, but we can't afford real food because real food's fucking expensive. So we have to eat. I mean, poor people are being fucking just destroyed by this stuff. It's really bad. It's horribly bad. And it's one of those things that it's not a conspiracy, it's a fact, and we really should be trying to fucking put an end to it. But what are you going to do? Corporations are going to corporate. What am I wrong about, Cal? What am I wrong about, Cal? The banana? What?
I mean, using... I mean, using the banana as proof is very weak.
Oh my god, you've never seen that video?
I
They're
haven't seen
so
it.
smug in that video, these two assholes, like Kirk Cameron and the other guy. They're so smug about how the banana is the proof of God. And it's just like, oh my, what is wrong with you? You fucks, do a little research. The original banana was hard and had fucking seeds in it.
Yeah.
God,
It,
yeah.
it, it, uh, it's very it's like the big pharma. Well, you've got other corporations that are, their business is fruits, vegetables, and things we eat. If you think they're not going to try and make the most money they can with the littlest effort, you know, what was the company? Was it Nestle? It was putting salt in the water to make you thirstier the more you drank. I mean,
I don't remember which one, but like Dasani has minerals that just straight up make you more thirsty.
Well, Dasani's not water,
Exactly, it's not
right?
water.
That's the
Yeah,
problem. It's modified. It's altered.
yeah.
yeah, I never heard the Kirk Cameron thing. So,
Oh my god!
yeah,
You can find it on YouTube. It's hilarious. It's like flat earthers, you know. Well, we'll get to that one later. Never mind.
Oh yeah, no,
yeah,
that one's not too far away actually.
yeah.
All right, that's probably all we have to say about
Wait,
GMOs.
Doc Flavigo typing Kirk Cameron like that makes me think of fucking Team America World Police. You know, Matt Damon, Kirk Cameron.
Such a good movie.
We're moving on to one of the more serious ones here. One of the more. It's Pizzagate. It's Pizzagate.
Oh man.
Um, for those of you who don't know, it's I'll let Shadow explain this one. He's an expert on it and has been for a long
Uh,
time.
it's pretty simple. It goes along with the belief that the elites are into little kids and in a very bad way. And pizza was the slang for little girls. Hot dogs was the slang for little boys. And there was a pizza place in Washington that supposedly serviced those desires amongst the wealthy. And it's scary. It's possibly the ugliest on the list. And having worked in the PI business where we did bring back little boys and girls that had been abducted for the most horrific of things, I can assure you that it was a thing. It still is a thing. And if it's your thing, you might want to stay the fuck away from people like me.
Yeah, I'm not on the fence about this one at all. It's real. I worked in the film industry. I've seen shit. I've heard shit. I've know shit. The fact that they were able to use QAnon and as not a false flag, but a disinformation psyop to basically make you think it's all bullshit clearly shows the problem at large, right? Which is that you have all this information coming towards you that is really terrifying, including emails and the symbols we see in everything that they show that are all these symbols that are repeating. The fact that the guy that shot up Comet Pizza or Comet Ping Pong or whatever the fuck the name of that place was, somehow managed to only shoot the server and destroy the server that contained the incriminating evidence. Fascinating. Nobody else got shot, but that server certainly went down. This is tied into.
Jumped right in front of everybody.
The server took a bullet. It was the secret server. This is all tied into Epstein. This is all tied into the Lolita Express. It's all tied into that fucking part of the oligarchs that is disgusting, is very fucking real. And while I don't believe in Satan, they sure as shit do. And that's the big fucking problem, is that they believe that they're part of some secret cabal and all this garbage, and they like to go into the woods and do this fucking the cremation. Was it the cremation of care or whatever they fucking call it with Moloch and all that fun stuff? Come on, man.
Yeah.
At what fucking You know, Jesus Christ,
Well,
what's that fashion company, Balenciago or whatever they're called?
Yeah.
I think
Let me be the
Yeah.
devil's advocate for a moment, if you don't mind. It's easy to see how these people would believe that whatever it is they're doing is working because of the positions they're in, and maybe if they've been in those, if they've been doing those evil deeds the whole time and continually rising in power, it makes sense why they continue to believe what they believe. Um, but I'm a Christian, so I believe things from a different angle. But for those of you who don't believe, think about it like that. They've been doing these things since Skull and Bones or college or high school, or maybe it's passed down from rich ass family to rich ass family members. If it keeps working, they're going to keep doing it,
Yeah.
and no matter how you slice it, it's the most disgusting, despicable aspect of this planet. And
Now, when you
it's
start getting into the
heartbreaking.
adrenochrome and all that stuff, now you're getting into the woo-woo parts of it. We don't need to get into the adrenochrome or whatever it's called. We don't need to get into that.
Well,
We
you
need
know
to
what?
deal
It's
with the
just
fact
funny.
that hang on. Hold your roll. You can reply in a minute, but let me just say my point. We don't need to go further than people are fucking harming children. We don't need to go deeper than that. That should be the stop point for the entire fucking society to just go, whoa, that's not right. We don't need to talk about adrenochrome and magic face skins made out of foreskin that'll make your fucking. We don't need any of that. We just need to deal with the fact that they're harming children. And that's where the fucking buck needs to stop. And that's where we need to be, as a people, doing something about it.
I'm not going to say anything on the camera, but I would like to share something with you later about this because I think I figured it out.
Okay.
But we'll talk later, and if you want to talk later on camera, I really don't want to go too deep down this particular rabbit hole because it does make me sick to my stomach, and we still got an hour to go. So what's next on the agenda? And Raven, I don't know what to say to be able
Raven,
to help.
put on your headset with your phone because that'll trigger the microphone in your headset, not the one on your speaker on your phone, and maybe that'll allow you to connect better.
Yeah, she can't find her earbuds. Maybe she's got a headset.
I don't know, Raven. I'm trying to help you, but it's just like, the fuck. You're an agent of chaos, my dear.
I mean, I still think the call would work, but I don't know if he wants to go down here and grab the Chromebook.
Yeah, I was gonna go down and have a smoke, anyways. I'll see if I can do that and if that'll work. Give me a second, folks. Extreme close up.
All right, so
All right,
our
what's
next topic after that one is orbs. People will film stuff, and they'll see floating balls.
You ever notice when they have a higher res camera, there are no fucking orbs? The thing that might see more shit doesn't because it's fucking dust. God, I hate the orb thing. It's like remember when they had the you're probably too young to this. In the 90s, there was this guy who was filming rods in the air. It was rods, and he would show you these fucking rods flying everywhere, and it was, oh, what is this? And then they used a higher res camera. It's bugs. Just his shitty camera was causing them to distort. What the fuck? Well, same thing for fucking orbs. But anyway, whatever. People believe in what they want to believe in.
Yeah, the orbs thing is fairly silly. We're getting into a couple of fairly silly ones soon, so that's going to be fun. Shadow, actually, I think he thinks the exact same thing about the orbs. We're in agreement that the orbs are dumb. All right, the next one is reptilians and government theories. There are lizard men in the government. Mark Zuckerberg,
Lizard people.
not Susan, Angela Merkel, all these people, they're lizard aliens, and they run the world.
And the Queen was a lizard, and this is Ikean theory, right?
Yeah.
The problem with David Icke has always been my problem with David Icke, which is he lays out this vast thing, and you go, "Yep."
Sorry, guys. I was trying to get everything. I could have said it better myself when it comes to the orbs. Again, people wanting to feel special. and grasping at any straw they can. Um, just you were like you said, the better the cameras get, the fewer of those things we'll probably see. And they'll say, oh, it has something to do with the old timey cameras, and they
Yeah.
were more in tune with the. Shut the fuck up. It's
Yep.
it's the only thing I can say is that other than this one has been very popular for so long, I can see why it's on the list. But I'm just hoping that maybe somehow it connects to something else that makes it more interesting than dust and bugs. You know what I'm saying?
I'm pretty sure it's just dust and
Fingers
bugs.
crossed. You can't see that, but fingers crossed. Maybe it's something less completely mundane and retarded.
This is way spookier if you're in the sunlight. Jeez, this is not as spooky anymore. It's lost all its spookiness here in the sunlight. Nothing bad ever happens in the sun. So back to lizard people and David Icke. So my buddy got me turned on to David Icke 20, 30 years ago or something like that, in the 90s, late 90s, early 2000s. And I was watching, reading, looking, and I'm like, yep. Oligarchs run the world. Yep, they're all evil people. Yep, they're trying to the totalitarian two-step right there with you. Yep. And it's shape-shifting lizard people from the 8th dimension. What? What? And my biggest fear is that he's right. That's my biggest fucking fear, is that David Icke is actually right. I don't think he is. I think he's right about a lot of stuff, but I think that's the bridge too far for me. But fuck, what if he's right? Shit. You know what I mean? That's scary.
I'm sorry. What was the topic?
Lizard people.
Oh, geez, that's one of my favorites. Oh, going all the way back to the dawn of history. They've been, popping up their ugly heads. Here's my conspiracy theory. Dr. Stephen Greer and Elon Musk get their skin suit from the same tailor. That's why they look so much alike, even though they're not related. Prove me wrong.
Yeah, I used to be big into the lizard person theory, especially with people.
Okay, awesome. Raven's thing is working. Come on down. You're the next contestant, Raven. Baffle us with your intimate knowledge of the things that us guys have all gotten wrong.
About the lizard men. And
I don't know. It's fun. It's probably like the most fun of the conspiracies, at least so far. But then, were it to be true, it would be the most horrific, terrifying thing of all time.
Yeah, I mean, if it does turn out to be true, that would be wild. I don't think it is. But as Bear said,
And Cal, they absolutely do look alike. Go take a picture of Elon Musk and Dr. Stephen Greer. Put them side by side, and you're like, oh my God, they're related.
Yeah. Next up, we have a pretty vague one. So it's kind of hard to say if it's true because it's vague. New World Order. Governments collaborating to make a new world order of some sort of evil system.
100% true.
Yeah, it's the inevitable conclusion of society.
But there are so many different angles to take it.
There's where they get into the meat. Yeah. Which version of the New World Order? I think it evolves. I think they change.
Yeah, like I said, especially if you look at it like a sci-fi thing, every world ends up going that direction. It seems, it just makes sense. But under whose authority, whose crown, if you will, I'm not opposed to adding, like 100 more states or stars to our flag. Someone starts, making that movement a thing, I'd be all on board. But at the same time, I don't think we're up to the task.
Definitely not now.
No, but you know what?
Go ahead, sorry.
No, he was. I was talking about how Stephen Greer and Elon Musk get their skin suit from the same tailor, and he thought I was talking about Zuckerberg, who's apparently gone a retrofit to make him look like the cool dude now. I wouldn't be surprised if he's related. Just
I have a
saying.
theory about Mark Zuckerberg. I don't know if it'll show up here. Let me check. It's the last one on tier 1, so probably not today.
Oh,
Exactly.
awesome!
So New World Order, that's fairly obvious. One tribute flag. All right. Nibiru, 10th planet. Aliens come from here. Was supposedly gonna crash into the Earth. Didn't. Still used as a concept. Not too familiar with it. I'm pretty sure Shadow is, and I don't know what Bear thinks of it.
Now we're into the Anunnaki. Everything about the Nibiru Anunnaki conspiracy is horseshit that's clouding what might be real because of bad fucking translations of Sumerian. So as a result, we don't have an accurate picture of what it's talking about because of these fucking, what's his name?
Zachariah Sitchin.
Sitchin's shitty translations. Is there another planet out there? Yes. There definitely is a 10th planet or whatever, because I still believe Pluto's a planet, so there's a 10th planet in the fucking solar system. It's far enough out that it does have a weird orbit, and we're starting to see signs of it, and we're starting to see the gravitational effects of it. Is it going to hit us? Who fucking knows? I don't know. But I'll tell you one thing, all that Anunnaki, and I read all those books, and I was right into it, and I did research and was like, he was an idiot who made up his own translations. Never mind. You know what I mean? So, fuck it.
All right. Now that Raven's here, hopefully, can we hear you?
Finally, I think so. Can you hear me okay?
Mm-hmm.
The crowd goes wild.
I cannot believe the trouble it's just, I'm going to talk about it. Okay. Yeah, we're talking
Nobody
about
knows your
Anunnaki.
sorrow.
Is that what we're talking about? Is it Anunnaki?
Nibiru.
Nibiru specifically.
There's
Also,
a
if you
guy.
want, you can go back on some stuff.
There's a guy called Marshall Masters who was convinced that Nibiru was going to hit us a couple years ago, and I had gotten into some of that lore, but thankfully it didn't turn out. But apparently, this Nibiru comes on an elliptical orbit, and it's like 3,600 year orbit. 36 is the number. I can't remember if it's 10 or 2 zeros after, but anyway, it's a long elliptical orbit, and it comes in from the south underneath us, so it's hard to see until it's like right up on us, he said. That part has been somewhat, confirmed, but it's plausible. I don't know. Can't prove it either way. A lot has been written about the Anunnaki. They just uncovered a whole ziggurat that had been used for target practice, I guess, during the Gulf War. And underneath in the basement are a bunch of cuneiform tablets that have not been translated previously, that they're now translating. So I think we'll find a lot of, if they let the information out, we'll learn a lot of things then about Anunnaki, Nibiru, and the whole bit. But it's plausible.
You do realize that the vast majority of cuneiform tablets are sales transactions, and there's that famous one of the guy complaining that he got ripped off in a deal and stuff like that.
Yes, I saw that.
Most of this shit, everyone thinks it's going to be like, and then this scroll will reveal the truth. No, it's about a guy who bought a goat.
Yeah, I covered one that was a beer. It was a sales tax receipt for some beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the 3600 is the precession of the
it's Nibiru's orbit. It's a long.
The reason why people said 3600 or 36,000 or whatever it was is because it ties to the precession of the ages with the zodiac.
36,000.
Whatever. They're tying it to that bullshit, right? That's the problem. So that's not bullshit. That's just astronomy. But they're trying to make it more. Oh, look at all these things that connect to it. We have no fucking clue. And we cannot use Zechariah Sitchin's translations because they're bullshit, and people who actually studied the Sumerian language have proven that they're bullshit.
Yeah, there's a really good interpreter right now of that stuff. His name is Matthew LaCroix.
Mm-hmm.
And he has a channel here on YouTube, and he's really legit. He was talking about this ziggurat that they discovered all this stuff in. And he's trying to do a fundraiser to get people to care about it and to try to preserve it all before it gets lost.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, never forget, the first thing they did when they fucking got to Iraq was secure the National Museum and then fucking plunder it.
Yes, why do you suppose that is? Isn't that interesting?
Cold hard cash, Raven. Cold hard cash. We were talking
about
this
cold hard cash. It's not
wanted
just cold hard cash. It's something else.
It's the Stargate.
This goes back to Stargate. Okay, it's not a Stargate. Stop.
Yeah, they have a Stargate there.
This goes back to the oligarch obsession with mysticism. Why is there a fucking Egyptian obelisk in the city of London? Right at the front of the city of London, when you enter, there's an Egyptian obelisk. Why is there a fucking American-made obelisk in the middle of Washington, D.C.? What is their obsession with ancient Egypt? What is their obsession with Mesopotamia? What is their obsession with all of these things? No matter where you go in the world, the oligarch class, the higher up people, government, what have you, are obsessed with that period, that ancient period.
Right.
They're fucking fixated on it. That's the conspiracy.
That's where they claim to come from. They claim that those are the beginnings of those bloodlines that they are descendants of. Therefore, that is why they have the right to rule.
Could be.
Yeah, that's why they're obsessed with that stuff.
Well,
so
I'm going to go back to the cold hard cash. There are innumerable private collections and museums throughout the world of the rich and powerful, and every one of them wants a piece. And they're willing to pay the cold hard cash to those Tomb Raider types that will go out and bring them the thing that will be the centerpiece of their collection.
Shadow, this wasn't Tomb Raiders. This was the American military securing the History Museum in Baghdad and then plundering it.
Yeah.
That's not tomb raiding. That's fucking industrialized. That's it's a different beast. And there's something at play there that we don't know about. But I want to hear what fucking young Master Jackie has to say, because every time he tries to say something, one of us runs over him. Go ahead, Jackie.
I was saying something not necessarily about the specific issue of the Iraqi thing, but more of Raven's comment on bloodlines. The modern political class doesn't really take their legitimacy from bloodlines anymore. Sure, a lot of them come from ancient bloodlines, but most of them have taken to a new idea of, we are voted in. Our responsibilities are our legitimacies. They come from the people. Everyone from Napoleon to Joe Biden are claiming that, and not all equally legitimate, but it's not really the issue of why they are obsessed with all the mystic, esoteric stuff isn't necessarily, at least openly, because of bloodlines. It's probably because of more occult things.
Occult knowledge and power.
So again, you have to go back to theosophy. All right, theosophy was the great disservice to Western civilization, and people don't understand what a fucking disservice theosophy was and what Blavatsky did with her bullshit. Okay, she created this fucking level of woo-woo that has been inbred into a certain part of society to the point that out of theosophy comes the New Age movement, right? And the New Age movement is just watered down theosophy. Out of that comes Wicca, which is just bullshit, and as a Celt, it fucking offends me on a primal level that Wiccans sit around acting like this is an ancient Celtic thing. Go fuck yourself. It's a California thing. It's exhausting that these people have money and power, and they believe this horse shit. It's the Anton LaVey. It's the fucking what's the other guy whose name I can't? Aleister Crowley. It's just all of that shit that just keeps recycling and recycling and recycling, and now Madonna's the high priestess of it, and all this horse shit. It's fucking sickening. Because there's actual spiritualism out there for us. There's actual truth in the universe waiting for us. But we got to get past all. The greatest prophets of the entire history of fucking humanity was Barnum when he said there's a sucker born every minute, and Bailey when he added the addendum and two to take them. You know what I mean? And that's the truth of it all. And these fuckers have been doing this shit non-stop for at least 500 years. And it's sick. But
so you don't like Madame Blavatsky? You think she's
I think she's a fucking psycho. I have about as much respect for her as I have for Anne Ryan. What?
Her and Rasputin.
Oh, yeah, the whole lot.
Rasputin's a different animal altogether.
What is
all of them, though?
Rasputin.
Was that Jackie?
I didn't know Rasputin had anything to do with Theosophy.
Well, he was another mystic. No, but he was another mystic, peddling his mystic bullshit to everyone.
Doctor.
Hey?
He just knew more he just knew more medical practice than the people around him. That's why he was able to make it look like he had all this mystic abilities. He just...
Yes. And there's one of those things coming up on your chart later that we're going to talk about.
He had healing hands. He had the gift of
did he have healing hands, or did he just have what Jackie said, the knowledge of medicine?
He wasn't feeding the boy any medicine. He was using his hands to remove his pain.
Well, we lost Jackie.
The young man had hemophilia.
They didn't want me talking about what I was just talking about.
It's my show now.
Yeah.
Anyway, listen. Let's move on to the next one because this could turn into a 2-hour debate about the stupidity of fucking rich people in California.
All right. Oh wow, we've been talking about Nibiru for a long time. All right, Area 51. Roswell, aliens crashed, got taken to Area 51. You can't go there for no reason. There's nothing there at all.
No, there's skunk. There's S4 and all that stuff. I don't think there's anything there. I think they moved it all if there was.
You're probably right on that.
It was there, I think, but yeah, I agree with Bear. I think it's been moved.
Yeah, I doubt they would keep it there after it gets so... Like, if you have a secret base and everyone finds out about it, you're probably going to move that secret base.
Yeah, they've got a lot of underground bases, and they're all connected by a tunnel system.
Shadow, what's your take on this?
I don't know. It's tough because, I've done a lot of looking into it back in the day.
And by that you meant you watched the season of Ancient Aliens?
Well, not just that, but the UFO things, chariots to the gods on up. And I got to think, if there's aliens out there, they suck. They suck really big and big. Just they can't be trusted because it would take like nothing for them to just stake us out and get us at a functioning peaceful level, and yet they're just sitting around watching. They're supposed to believe that and then believe they're the good guys. No, if they're out there, they're monsters and they need to be put to the sword. And if not, we need to move on to other things like getting our shit together so we can go and be the aliens for the next planet.
But Stephen Greer told me that the Pleiadians want to make my life better because they're secret masters of the...
Stunger! How you doing?
What's up, bro? We missed you this morning, man. I'm going to give you a call tomorrow if you're free, okay?
Alien Ant Farm. Aren't they a good band?
You're Adam Ant?
No, Alien Ant Farm.
Alien Ant Farm? Oh. Goody two shoes.
All right, calm down, Gen X.
All right. What's next on our list?
Jackie, what's next on our list?
George, I heard the same thing. I heard they moved it to Utah also, but I can't confirm that. I don't know anybody out there.
What about Utah?
I wonder if the Mormons know.
They probably do.
Yeah.
Moon landing.
Thunder brush.
Yeah, that's a hard one, eh? The moon landing?
Yeah.
All right. So what I've heard of the moon landing thing is okay. We did go there, but they had to reshoot some of the video footage that they tried to pass off as original because of their. You could see in the background some of the structures that are up there, and they didn't want to have to explain that. And that there were some UFOs that were caught in that footage, and of course they didn't want to have to explain that either. So they went out to Sedona, Arizona, and re-filmed the thing as if it were happening on the moon. That's what I heard.
Stanley Kubrick filmed the moon landing.
Yeah. What do you
Yeah,
think?
no. That's what I think. No.
We didn't go?
I don't know if we went. There's a lot of science that says we couldn't, and there's a lot of science that says we could, and I don't know. I honestly don't know. I know how important it was for them to beat the Russians, and that's a pretty big driving fucking factor for them, considering they lost 2 to the Russians: first man in space, first man to orbit. First person to be successfully returned to the Earth. That's the first satellite. I mean, they lost a lot to the Russians in those days.
We did.
Then hang on. It gets better. It gets better. Wait. There's more. Then you find out about Parsons, who was a disciple of Crowley, and he figured out the solid fuel booster by using a pentagram-shaped 5-pointed star for solid fuel boosters. And that's the thing people don't understand, is that and there's a spot on the far side of the moon named after him, Jack Parsons Crater.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some weird shit going on in NASA.
Mm-hmm.
I think the weirdest thing of all, if you can find it, the immediate interview of Buzz Aldrin, Neil Armstrong.
They look depressed.
They look like somebody killed their dog, or shot their family. They look just the exact opposite. I mean, trust me, as an American, if I was the first guy that just came back from being on the moon, I would be like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? And instead, they're like, please don't ask us any questions. We've only got 2 questions we can answer.
They look like
were
traumatized.
Just like, that body language just says something that's just not. It just does not match with what they should be.
Body language of a liar, or like someone who has seen something
that they can't talk about and has changed their entire fucking view of the world, like structures on the moon, aliens watching them on the moon, etc., right? There's lots of stuff that could have been about, but you're right. They look so depressed in that fucking footage. They don't look happy.
I'll literally never be able to forget the look on their faces.
Yeah, no doubt. It's haunting. It's haunting. They look traumatized.
It could be as simple as we're lying, we never went, and now we've got to sit here and pretend like we're big damn heroes, and deep down we all know we didn't do shit. That could be the simplest answer, but I just get a gut feeling that it's something else. I can't tell you what it is, but if you could find that interview, get back to us and tell us what you think, because it just doesn't. I mean, as far back as I can remember, being that I'm thousands of years old, when it comes to American success, we've all been about the super big egos. Look what we just did, rah rah rah, go USA. And this was the one time we did like the most monumental thing in history, and there was none of that. Sure, they got the ticker tape parades and all that good stuff, but when it came down to being in front of a camera, in front of reporters, they were just like, please don't ask us anything. We just want to go home. I'm going to
go monument my ass into the kitchen and get another cup of coffee, so I'll answer last on the next topic.
Okay.
Fair
enough. Well, this is a good topic to go to now. The shape of the Earth.
Raven, take it away. Take it away, Raven.
Somebody needs to purchase all those flat Earth believers a plane ticket, buy a window seat. Enough said.
Yeah. What you don't realize is they're beyond the ice wall. They're hiding another ice wall with more land, and maybe they're going there, and they're hiding it.
I tell you what, it is so crazy. Now, there are some anomalies that actually kind of made me scratch my head. I did an in-depth study into this for a radio show. And the guy who actually has come up with this theory, who originated with, was a child prodigy in computer science, and he was already employed by what's the big video game manufacturer there in Colorado, in the Denver area. Uh, I don't play
Was
video
it EA?
games, so
Bethesda? I
anyway,
don't know.
that's how he got started, and he made a lot of money. And he's the one who came up with the whole theory. Now, I listened to he had like an 8-tape program on all of this, and he kind of throws in a little bit of conspiracies from some of these other topics that we talk about, and he strings them together in a different way. And he really does not sound batshit crazy, but the whole thing about a flat Earth, I mean, it's obvious it's not flat. There's
Yeah,
nothing in the
obviously
universe that is not flat like that. Everything is an orb. Everything. All the planets, all the moons, all that stuff is an orb. So it just doesn't make sense that we would be flat. Now, there are some people that do astral travel that have said they have seen this ice wall that they talk about. But that is a situation where they're going out of body into spirit. Who knows? You know, you get into these other dimensions, you see all kinds of stuff. And it doesn't have any basis in the 3D reality. It might be there in a 4D. Can't say, don't know personally, but yeah, the Earth is round. The Earth is round. End of subject. Yep.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you. You guys are, you're gonna all just shake your heads, but I'm pretty certain the Earth is donut shaped, and I'm sticking with that.
Yeah, why do you think the
Donuts.
sky is
Well,
blue?
donuts are round.
Yep, with a hole in the middle, and yeah,
That's the
it's a big
sky.
donut. We're living on a big donut, and yeah,
Are you serious?
fuck no.
Yeah. No, I have a very
I just heard that one. I just heard that one somewhere, and I'm like, oh, that's the best. Yeah, it's a donut.
Well,
But
yeah, okay, I tell you where that
we're
comes
on the
from.
frosting side. We're on the
not as good
frosting
as
side of the
Velociraptor.
donut, so
Well, they're talking about the toroid, the way the energy runs through the planet. Okay? It comes in through the North Pole, down through the center, and out the sides and around. And it's like a donut, if you look at it from an angle like that. So it's like
it's basically just like a big fat
coming in and
person
going around this way.
sucking in the energy and then crapping it back out.
And they call it a toroidal. It's a toroidal energy.
Honestly, I think.
No,
What'd you say, Jackie?
It's Velociraptor Earth.
It's what?
It's a dinosaur-shaped Earth.
The dinosaur-shaped Earth.
Yeah.
Okay, do tell.
I don't know. It's shaped like a Velociraptor.
Shaped like a pepperoni. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have one word. I have one word for flat earthers. One word. Magellan. Good night.
Yeah. Yeah,
Hey, Travis, fun time to see,
I've
brother.
been flat earthers for a long time.
No, he has got a long. This guy has got a long history of trolling flat earthers. He was what, 8, 10 years old, and he knew better. Not even joking.
Yeah, I once uploaded a video.
You had me a conspiracy theory. What?
I don't know what happened to it, but I uploaded a video titled like 100% irrefutable flat Earth proof, and this is me at like 6 years old, just sitting on the couch yelling at the camera, calling flat Earthers stupid. And then there was this guy who showed up in the comments who was like, "This kid has been so seriously indoctrinated." By who? Who cares? This massive conspiracy to keep people from knowing that the Earth is round doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It's like
to ever exist is in on this. I don't believe it, and so I have dedicated my life to becoming a pilot so that I can have more credentials and calling the flat earthers stupid.
there you go. Take them up in your plane.
I'm just saying, people spend a lot of money keeping us not knowing the world's flat. Because why?
Yeah, what is the point? Yeah, just to confuse people or get them There is a bar restaurant that is going to be active, I think, in 2026 or 2027, and it's out of Georgia, and it's like a big, kind of like a hot air balloon thing, but they will take you and your party up and float you way above the stratosphere to where you'll be able to see. You can see all kinds of stuff, and you'll just hang out there. It's all going to be like in the round, and they'll let you hang out there for a little while and then descend back down for an exorbitant amount of money. But we can put all the flat earthers in that bar when that bar gets opened and take them up there and prove them. Prove them
How about we
right.
just ignore them?
Huh?
How about instead of doing anything with the flat earthers, we just ignore them?
Well, I'm sure they're wonderful people. They're just misguided. That's
I
all.
don't care. When they start spouting their nonsense, we just go, click, and look at something else.
Okay. Well, all right.
They'll
That's
eventually
fine.
go away.
That's fine too.
Just wish them to the cornfield.
Ooh. Listen, Malachi, I have no time for your nonsense.
Children of the Corn. Oh gosh. Hey, I grew up in Indiana. It was nothing but cornfields, and that movie freaked me out. I had nightmares off that one.
I was referring to the classic Twilight Zone.
Yes, but we'd be cross-pollinated.
So on to the next topic, shall we? Because this one's
Yeah.
dumb.
What, you think this one's dumb? Or do you not know what it is?
No, the one we were just talking about, the shape of the earth.
Yeah. The Bilderberg meetings.
They're not a conspiracy.
Yeah.
They're real. They're documented.
They are real.
exist.
I imagine the conspiracy is about what they're talking about.
How to get more rich and more powerful. It's not a conspiracy.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
True.
Again, it's the natural evolution of such things: money, power, rich people. What do you think they're going to do? They're gonna network and make sure the status stays quo, so to speak.
They just had their annual meeting here at the beginning of July, wasn't it?
Good for them.
Yeah, cool.
Um,
Talk about being rich and all that
Bully for the rich fucks. Next.
stuff. Yeah.
Bilderberg.
This one is, I'm not too sure what the conspiracy theory is. It's I guess this is a second clarification. Not everything on this list is a conspiracy. Some of them are just ideas, especially in the earlier tiers. Some of them are just ideas that
Be
relate.
safe, Travis.
All right, goodbye.
Take care. Make sure you watch the rest of the show, brother. It's been too long.
Bye, Travis.
Is an
Make
old
sure your
friend.
world doesn't burn down. Come on.
Yeah, hopefully
Travis is,
Yeah, you're right,
is
you're
an old
right.
friend of
Yeah.
ours from way back.
it wasn't until Alex Jones kind of hacked snuck into the meeting, proved that it was not a conspiracy theory, that
No, you're
Bilderberg was
confused.
correct.
No, you're confusing.
Alex
everything.
Jones didn't do Bilderberg. He did Bohemian Grove.
Oh, yeah, Bohemian Grove. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm getting it confused. Sorry.
There's
Aha!
ceremonies.
Sorry.
Fucking Mandela effect. Anyway, what's the next topic, buddy?
Dude,
Transhumanism.
don't
You
give her
didn't
any
do that one
ammo.
yet, did you? I hope you didn't do that one yet, did you?
Yeah, we did.
Damn!
Oh, well, get better equipment.
Yeah,
What's the
that's
next
it.
topic there, Jacker?
Transhumanism.
Oh,
It's not
Okay,
really-
I understand the concept of transhumanism, but what is the theory about it?
That's what I was clarifying. It's not necessarily a conspiracy theory. Some of these on the earlier tiers are just ideas that relates to future conspiracy theories.
Okay.
So I imagine
Or maybe I could see the theory being that there are folks out there trying to get us all to evolve to the next level or what have you, possibly against our will. Like they know what's best for humanity, and they're gonna usher in a new, evolution of humans. And I got to tell you, this is my final form. This is my final form, and I'm sticking with it.
Wow, you should really go back to the shop and get a refund. Sure you missed me that much there, Shadow?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Welcome to the show, brother.
Yeah,
All right, what's next? Because transhumanism is a dumb topic that we can't really do much on.
Yeah, I imagine we all know what it is. The multiverse. This one, I guess, is a conspiracy theory, just that it exists. Um, I see you have something to say about it. I don't need to really introduce the concept of the multiverse. We all know what it is. Bear, what do you have to say?
We don't know. We can't know. My cat doesn't know. Why are we fucking talking about this? Like, I, this idea that every choice I make, because I am such a fucking important human being, there will be an instantaneous multiverse created where the other choice was made. And then we multiply that by 8 billion people making decisions every minute, every second, whatever you want. So there are quadrillion, gilgle, zillion fucking multiverses out there based around whether or not you had fucking peanut butter or jam. Like, fuck off with this self-important bullshit. Fucking look, multiple dimensions, 100%. Multiverse, bullshit, sci-fi horseshit.
Unless you are running a sci-fi or superhero game, in which case it's great for fantasy, and I think that's where it stays in the realm of fantasy.
Yeah, a bunch of nerds saw it in their favorite comic books, and I'm like, ooh, what if that was real? And that's where it came from.
I do think there are different timelines. There are parallel Earths, parallel worlds that go with those timelines. I do think there is something to that, and that goes right back to the Mandela effect, which unfortunately I missed due to equipment error. But multiverse is hard. Yeah, I just can't think that. Yeah, just like Bear said, that every little stupid decision, go right or go left, it's going to pop out another universe or whatever. I just don't think that even works in the quantum world at all.
I think I refer to this as one of those things that's wishful thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Next.
Ouija boards.
Yeah. Ouija board.
I have zero experience with this.
The witch board.
So I imagine
The ancient witch board that will tell you the spirits will come to speak to you, and they will tell you the truth, but it's really a demon trying to fool you to possess your life. Made by Parker Brothers. The fuck? Please.
So these spirit boards, that was good. These spirit boards were really popular during the Civil War because people were wanting to inquire about their loved ones, if they were still alive or where they were, things like that. And they became kind of a parlor game, but not really a game. People, they didn't have telephones. They didn't have the mail was very slow. People were looking to spiritualism for answers, and there were two sisters that devised what has kind of come down to us now as the modern day Ouija board. I can't remember their name, but then it became very popular, and then a toy manufacturer got a hold of it and bought the rights, for it. And then the thing that upsets me is this thing is not a toy, and it wreaked havoc in our house when I got one for Christmas as a first grader.
Mm-hmm.
And Mom and I messing with that thing. So they're not to be played with. Now they can work, and they can work if you're responsible with it. But you don't. It's like, remember when we used to have telephone booths? It would be like just calling a phone booth in New York City somewhere and see who answers. Unless you are specific and you set up your protections, because you don't want the creepies coming in and attaching and raising hell, because you're literally opening up a portal.
Thank you, Raven. I was missing the woo, but now that the woo is here, I feel better. And I love you, Raven. I think the world of you. But I've played with Ouija boards so many goddamn times in college and high school, and then when we were kids, and never fucking once did a demon come into our world. It's witch board bullshit. It's bullshit, and people who fucking believe it are going to believe it.
It did not say that a demon would come through, although I've heard they can, but I've never experienced that. But you can get some astral nasties.
Mm-hmm.
I think
apparently they didn't like us because they didn't come and hang out. So I guess we were safe.
I guess not. You probably scared them away.
I've got two just separate opinions. One is whoever you're doing it with is fucking with you and you're not catching on. Okay? Or as a Christian, you're messing with unclean spirits. Don't do it. You're better off. You want to play a game? Go play Monopoly. Better yet, let's play some Traveler, some Dungeons and Dragons, some of anything else that you use your brain with, as opposed to let some completely unknown thing tell you what to do. No matter how you slice it, you're wasting your time. So, yeah.
Isn't it amazing how these entities can always spell in English? Isn't that just amazing?
Right?
Like they're like ancient fucking spirits, but they can spell perfectly in English. Except, oh wait, unless you have dyslexic people playing the game, and then suddenly they can't fucking spell anymore. Oh.
Most of them are you're going to be your earthbound spirits. That's what you're dealing with.
This is a great one, George. I've been hitting the comments, guys, so that they're immortalized. But what George says right here, I don't know why it's not showing up.
Yeah, that's what.
What type of entity has nothing better to do than talk with some kids on a Ouija board who've been smoking pot all
It's a gate groomer. It's a piece of gate groomer demon, sir.
It's your earthbound spirits that are bored. They do all kinds of mischief.
Yeah. We already know what they're doing. They're watching people in the shower. Can we go on to the next topic?
Yeah, they do that. They mess with people all the time.
Do you want to go to the next topic?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Good.
Celebrity deaths.
Yes, celebrities die. It's true.
Yeah.
Conspiracy.
I don't know what the conspiracy is. I imagine it's
27 years old. It's the 27-year-old conspiracy death thing. The idea that people who've sold their soul for success die at 27, and there's a lot of them. Here's the thing: what everybody seems to forget about the whole dying celebrity thing is cocaine's a hell of a drug, and it does a lot of damage to your body, especially your heart. And if you have a weak heart to begin with, there's a really good chance you'll have a massive fucking coronary if you do too much coke. And guess what? And Shadow, tell me if I'm wrong, because you've worked there too. What's the number one drug in Hollywood?
Cocaine.
Yeah, adrenochrome. Fucking Peruvian marching powder, right? The devil's dandruff. They fucking love that shit over there. I mean, Christ almighty, it's insane how much fucking coke goes on a film set. Like, it's disturbing. So their bodies give out and they die because they treat their bodies like shit, and they take drugs and all this kind of horseshit. There's no conspiracy. They're just fucking living like idiots.
Yeah.
I think we can usher this one into the done pile.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The next one is something I have heard about, but I think Shadow is probably pretty familiar with it. The black-eyed kids thing.
Ooh,
black-eyed children.
BICs. Ooh.
Yeah, it's a creepypasta that got out of hand.
Exactly. Not a single fucking photo exists that is provable that one of these things. Like, no one's ever taken a picture of these black-eyed kids ever.
And not only not a picture, but not a Ring camera across the country.
Not a Ring camera, not an audio or nothing. Just, black-eyed kids want to use the phone. Oh, they won't take no for an answer. Oh, they're demons. What? They're alien hybrid children that got out of the ship and are wandering around on Rumspringa. Like, what the fuck, man?
That was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to admit, though, for some 17-year-old kid on the internet, he came up with something pretty creepy. Let's give it to him. But that's it.
There's research by David Weatherly. You can Google him. He's got some research into the black-eyed kids. David Weatherly.
I love you, Raven. I adore you. You are just the black cherry on the top of the cake, my love. What's next, Bubba?
I told you this was going to be fun, guys.
Yep. All right. The next one is another one of the introductory ones. It's very vague. Antarctica. There
Oh,
are a
Okay.
bunch of
Yeah.
Antarctica.
So
that's a big one.
Um,
There's
Where do you
so many things
begin?
about Antarctica.
yeah.
you got to pick one. The pyramids, the bullshit Admiral Byrd stuff that wasn't true, but then there is the lake with the trees that is true, and like, there's so much weird shit. Or the fact that you're not allowed to independently ever set foot on that fucking continent. It's against the law, but you can
Without
take a
permission?
tourist trip.
Huh?
You can take a tourist trip. What the fuck? And then New Schwabenland and the fucking Operation High Jump.
Google
And,
Earth covered up.
yeah,
Agartha, all that stuff.
let's just. Here's my theory. Leave it the fuck alone.
Yeah,
But
probably.
yet, they flew down the Pope. They flew down, what's his name? John Kerry. They flew down all these dignitaries.
Obama. Anybody who's been there. And you know what? If I was somebody and they said, "Hey, we need you to come down to Antarctica," my answer would be a resounding, "Go fuck yourself." It's cold there. It's just like
My answer-
Yeah, it is, and it's a hell of a trip to get there. God, his name just escaped me. I'll think of it in a minute. He's got a recent. He just recently came back from there within this last year. Oh, come on, it's got a publishing company, CNC Publishing. Come on. Anyway, the waters are very rough between where they sail out of the tip of South America and go to Antarctica. It's really
The Straits of Magellan.
yeah, that would be the Straits of Magellan. Yes.
Real bad news.
Yeah, it is. And yet, and see, it was weird. The timing thing with John Kerry going down there was this was back in 2016. It would have been that election. It was election day, and he wasn't around. He was en route to Antarctica. So he was wasn't he Hillary's campaign person or something like that? For him to take off on that close to the election was just very, very odd. Very odd. And see, before the Pope went down there were two bishops that were sent down, or archbishops, whichever. They were sent down first, and then based on whatever their report was, then Pope Francis went down. So what the hell? We didn't hear anything more than about it, but all these dignitaries got to go down there. Supposedly, it is a alien craft. And as the snows were receding, more and more of it became visible. And they did take a white tarp-like thing on poles and put it over the top of this thing so that you no longer can see it from Google Earth. But you used to be able to see it as the snow was melting come out. It's like, down at an angle. So there's something to it. So there are whistleblowers that have come out that talked to Linda Moulton Howe. One of them was a helicopter pilot. He was a medic, and there was something weird that went down with some scientists that were there. They disappeared for 8 days.
I'm sorry. Crafting Gamer had a great one. Sorry.
What'd say?
My favorite Antarctica theory is that Elvis's mothership is frozen beneath Antarctica. I'm going to steal that for my upcoming adventure I'm running. I'm stealing that TCG. I'm currently writing an adventure, Nazi Dinosaur Cult of Antarctica. I think the big for me, it's one of those last great untamed frontiers, and we have so little of that left. So that it's just open, it's just a wide open area, just right for the imagination to just run free and then freeze to death.
Well, I mean,
there are caverns underneath there. It's temperate. There's grass. You have all these layers of ice, and you go underneath that, and you've got freshwater lakes, you've got grass, you've got trees, you've got a whole ecosystem in there because the whole island of Antarctica is very, very volcanic. And so all of that lava and stuff heats everything up in there. But
Shadow, to kind of disprove what you were saying, that Antarctica is one of the last frontiers, a place that there's no civilization, no society, no laws, anything like that, no no intelligent life that can be found there. There's a lot of places like that. We live just south of that, San Francisco, L.A.
That's fair. That's fair. It's just it's full of mystique and the unknown, and I think it's going to stay that way for a good long time. Like I said before, it's cold as balls out there, and most of us don't really want to go and freeze to death. So, yeah,
I live in
it's definitely
Canada.
on the story. Yeah.
I'm Canadian. Whatever. Just put on some layers.
Yeah. All right. The next one is not really a conspiracy at all. I get why it's on the list, obviously, but basically proven. CIA selling drugs.
Jesus Christ.
Huh?
Oh yeah, it's real. I know
The
for
CIA created crack.
Yeah, it and it didn't end there. It's never going to end. They found a way to make money and funnel it into places. The CIA stole drugs, and what are you gonna do?
Yeah. They had
The
networks all
people
over Latin
responsible,
America,
the,
in the
the
South,
people
everywhere.
responsible have died of old age or coke overdoses. I don't know. Take your pick. Um, I think it is one of those gateway conspiracies that's going to lead into other things later on down the road. What they do with the money, why were they, needing large quantities of untraceable funds. But we'll get there when we get there.
The CIA, a much more interesting conspiracy, is the CIA's involvement in popular music since the 1960s. And that ties into Manson, that ties into gangster rap, that ties into so many fucking things. That shit's off the fucking chain.
Mm-hmm.
How the Doors are implicated in that one.
Yep. And I saw, I don't know about you guys, if you remember MTV when, obviously I listen to a lot of metal, still do from time to time. And I remember the day that MTV went from, all the cool music that we used to listen to, and then the next day it was nothing but rap.
No,
Just like,
yes.
who are all
Yes,
these,
I do too.
who
I
are all
remember
these
that.
people?
What the hell?
And it was, they said, metal was negative and satanic and all these other things. And after like 30 minutes of rap, I'm like, I need to go pop a cap in somebody's ass.
Yeah.
Wow, you're easily influenced.
Just saying,
Yeah, and then they
It's
just had the heavy
Careful,
metal on
Jacko.
Saturday night.
Careful.
And
He
then
watches
what-
one bad commercial, and next thing you know, it's fucking Waco in California.
And then it went
No,
to reality shows.
it was just so weird how just instantaneous it was, and how it just changed that level of society. The people that were young, listening to music as their number one occupation, suddenly went from all of this to all of that,
I
and
missed
you
these.
mark. Amen, brother. The only era worth going back to if you had a time machine, in my opinion.
Yeah. Definitely. I still have my parachute pants. Did you have parachute pants?
I
Where?
had combat. I wore combat cargo pants. That was my thing.
Uh-huh. Okay.
All right, Jacko, what's next, buddy?
The next one is the basement tapes.
I know the name. What is that one?
Yeah, what is that one about?
Okay, I don't. Which one? Okay, it was
Okay.
some. Which?
Okay, let me take this one for you. We all remember the Columbine shooting.
Columbine,
Yeah.
not-
Okay, well, supposedly those youngsters before they did the evil that they did, before they did the evil that they did, they made video cassette or videotapes of their plans and what they were going to do, why they did it, etc. And those tapes miraculously disappeared. Yet every once in a while, clips from them appear in various places throughout the internet.
Yeah, and it's different clips each time. It's not just re-uploads of the same ones. It's somebody has the tapes. We don't know who has the tapes, but we know they exist. We know that they keep showing up. We know that there was quite a lot of footage on those tapes, and we haven't seen even a quarter of it. But they just keep showing up every once in a while, and then are taken down.
I bet it's
Some
a
of them
psyop.
Well, Columbine was a psyop.
Yeah. And they're just keeping it alive with the tapes and releasing them. It's the MK Ultra Labs, I bet.
It could be so many different, things. I could think of, at least a couple of different reasons why that would be a thing. But, to be honest, it's a depraved, sick human behavior. If somebody said, "Hey, I need you to hold on to these tapes," and you found out what they were, you got two choices: you turn them in or you burn them. The fact that neither happened is just why. Why would you? Want it to be? Have any part of anything to do with that? Let alone.
Supposedly, there's some from Montauk also, basement tapes type things that just they went in and tried to destroy all that and say that the MK Ultra programs were discontinued. Well, they weren't discontinued. They just changed the name and buried them a little further. But there were some talk of that, and that there were some people that went to that facility. They taped it and they played it on, I think, History Channel or any one of the two. Creepy, very creepy. The facility is still there, and it's got like a big radio tower or radio thing on the top of it that will spin around. It's weird. And it's got caverns and stuff underneath. It's just really creepy.
Yeah, this has nothing to do with basement tapes anymore. Now we're up to Montauk.
George says this is related to media and big farm conspiracy. Those kids were on meds meant for adults.
You know what? I hate those big farm conspiracies. Those goddamn tractor driving cocksuckers trying to run the world. Sorry, George, I'm making fun of your typo. Just being a dick. Don't mind me.
Yeah, George is cool. George is
I
cool.
know George is cool. George hangs out on my channel too. George is a cool guy, but he's put FARM. I got to call him on it. Sorry.
Yes.
It's what boys do. We call each other on our bullshit.
Yep. Mm-hmm. All right.
Women, on the other hand, do fucking covens and seances. It's just the way it is.
Yep. Moving on to Operation Northwoods. The proposed.
That's the fucking blow up an airliner and blame it on the Cubans one, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, I believe that. In fact,
it absolutely
what's
happened.
The conspiracy? That it's directly tied to 9/11?
It's just on the list to set up the idea of that sort of thing happening. It's not really, here's a debated topic, it's just, here's a thing that happened that for a long time was a conspiracy, but at this point it's proven fact. Just sort of a setup. I don't think there's much to talk about it, because it's just a fact, a thing that happened. The next one is equally vague, so we might as well, I'll just say it and then we'll skip past it. PsyOps, again, introductory. Obviously PsyOps have happened. That's not debated. The next one...
This show is a PsyOp. This show is a PsyOp.
Yeah, the show is a PsyOp. We're funded by the CIA. The next
one... get it right.
I'm funded by CSIS. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Make work program.
Me and Shadow are funded by...
And to be honest, he's funded by Doritos.
Those cocksuckers.
Yeah. It's not...
I'm sponsored by Mountain Dew.
I'm fueled by coffee and powered by rage. What's the next one?
The Vela incident.
The what?
The Vela incident, despite the fact that I don't think you guys have heard of it, it's pretty silly. Satellites caught massive flashes of light emanating from South Africa, and there's no official explanation why. But I can tell you what it was. It was nuclear testing. It was just nuclear testing.
Yeah, South Africa was doing nuclear testing at one point. Everyone knows that.
Yeah, everyone. The only reason it's a conspiracy is because there's no official records of a nuke being tested that day. When there are official records of other testing, but who cares? It's just a nuke.
Rolling right along.
Yeah. The next one, creepypastas. I don't know what the conspiracy is necessarily.
They're true, but they're pretending that they're just stories on the internet, so that way you don't believe they're true. Why you would do that, I have no fucking clue.
So they don't have, ramifications coming after.
Ramifications, but because Slender Man shows up, now we're going to go kick someone's ass? What? No, this is nonsense. There's a lot of these conspiracy theories that you'll run into where there's no valid reason for the conspiracy to exist. Flat Earth being one of them.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, this is a good one. I think Shadow should explain it. The Trump conspiracy.
What's the Trump conspiracy?
Okay, about 100 years ago.
It's the best conspiracy. Everyone knows it's a great conspiracy.
About 100 years ago, maybe a bit longer, maybe a little bit less, a man named Ingersoll Lockwood wrote a series of books that included things like where the Trump Tower would be erected, and sure enough, it was. It's also a story about Baron Trump, the time traveler. The other link to this conspiracy is that Nikolai Tesla, all of his papers, if you will, ended up in the hands of Trump's uncle, who had worked for some government agency at the time, and got a hold of all of those paperwork that included the time machine that allowed Baron Trump to go back into the past and into the future to help his whole man out in various ways.
Now, what's interesting is that book that he wrote, all about the adventures of Baron Trump, is really, I don't know how you can explain that, though. The parallels.
Well, the fact that one of the three books is called The Last American President or something along that, I'd have to go get the book downstairs. Yeah. It's full of some kooky stuff that would make for a great movie or show sometime later on down the road, because I want to see how this story plays out first. But, it sounds like science fiction fantasy, but there's some weird coincidences throughout all of it that, that make you go, just saying.
Did you ever finish reading the book series? Jabo, have you finished reading the books yet?
No, I have not.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, I'll give you guys a book report when I'm done. It's interesting, it's goofy, but, do I believe any of it could be remotely true at the moment? No. I wish it was in some cases, because that would be funny as hell. We get to hear more of Bear's Trump impersonation, saying even crazier shit, but, other than that, I'm going to have to wait and see, folks.
Well, for somebody who's writing a fictional story, there's an awful lot of parallels in there. Too many for a coincidence.
It's an autobiography. It's the best one. Everyone knows it. It's true. You know. I know. It's a great book. You should read it.
I love it. Next.
I honestly think if Baron Trump was going to travel through time, he'd have done a much better job for his father than this horse shit. So,
yeah.
People are so fucking gullible.
All right, the next one, giants.
Of Afghanistan?
It's
just in general.
Just the general concept of giants.
Because I want to talk to Nerd about the giants of Afghanistan thing, because that's really interesting.
Yeah.
I don't think it's mentioned as far as what I remember, so go ahead.
Oh, it's just there's a lot of unconfirmed anecdotal stories told by soldiers about running into giants while they were in Afghanistan that were fighting for the Afghani people, and like seeing them in their range finders and stuff like that. And then there's the story about the one that killed some people. It's all very interesting. It's all very weird, impossible to prove. Much like the disappearing giant bones of the American expansion, where all those giant bones the Smithsonian just made them all go poof.
Yep.
Do I think there were giants? Yes. The Denisovians were giants compared to us. They were 12 feet tall, probably. You know what I mean? That'd be a big goddamn son of a bitch to run into. I'm 6'3". If I ran into a guy twice my height, I'd be like, wow, fuck.
Especially compared to the folks of times gone by where they were much shorter. You're 5'2", this guy's 10 feet. He looks 15 feet tall to you. So yeah.
Do you ever watch? Do you remember Cheers back in the day, Shadow?
Mhm.
Cliff David, something about the Minutemen were actually called the Minute Men.
Yeah.
Well, Shadow, you were alive back then, so tell us, were there giants?
Ooh.
Yeah, they were, but they were kind of douchey, and
They said bro a lot, and they they had lowrider chariots. It was fucking. They were douches. They wore Ray-Bans. They had popped collars.
Okay, well, you can see there are two giant skulls that have survived the Smithsonian Institute, and they were found in Lovelock Cave. And the story goes there that some farmers were in there getting the bat guano to fertilize their fields and ran across several skeletons in there. And they featured this on Ancient Aliens, and it was David Childress. It's a museum in Nevada, but it's Lovelock Cave.
Yeah, but anytime David Childress opens his mouth,
the minute you say Childress is involved, I stop listening.
No, it's not out on public display. It's in the back room. So he goes into the back room and he pulls that skeleton. It's just the head out, puts it on the table. And immediately you don't notice anything different. You just think that that's a normal human skull until he brings a human skull and puts right next to it. Then you notice the differences. And they are...
Yeah, but that could have been a child's skull. You know what I'm saying?
No,
that could
it's
easily
not a child's skull. You can tell because of the teeth. It's not a child's skull. The eye sockets are bigger.
The smaller of the skulls could have been a child's skull.
No, because of the teeth.
Or a midget, or a pygmy.
No.
David Childress is never lies.
No, he's too busy smelling his own fart.
The giant
Raven's getting triggered.
Has longer, a bigger jaw, thicker, wider, wider.
Okay, have you ever heard of Anthony Sedaris? Tony Sedaris was an actor who had a massive jaw that died because of the growth disimbalance. Andre the Giant. There's been giants within the human race.
That's because they're real, and some of them actually survived. And they are written about in the Bible.
No, some people just have a growth Paul White.
There's a whole race of them. They were called the Nephilim. They were
that is a mistranslation that has driven me nuts that fucking English-speaking Christians obsess over. There were giants in the earth in those days. That's the line. Then it was the time of the Nephilim. The Nephilim were not the giants. The Nephilim were angels who had been kicked out of heaven and were stuck on fucking earth. The giants were their children. Nephilim does not mean giant. Come on, Raven. Bring it. You can do it. Come on, Raven.
What I was trying to say is the Nephilim started the progeny of the giants.
I don't believe it. Sorry.
Yeah.
I believe there were giant hominids at one point, the Denisovians, but I don't believe in all these giant skeletons that magically disappear.
Yeah, the Smithsonian got rid of them. And there were two brothers that did a whole series on the History Channel. And they went into and got the old microfiche out and got the newspaper articles from 1800s, all those. And, they were examined by doctors and then boxed up and sent to the Smithsonian where they promptly disappeared. And then there was Catalina Island in California is another place where they found lots and lots of giant's bones. Now, the Anunnaki were large, and whereas they don't have elongated skulls on Catalina Island, they have about the same height. But you go down to Peru, South America, and that's where you find the elongated skulls. And that's not an issue of cradle boarding, and I'll tell you why. Because the sutures are different, the sagittal sutures. A human has 3, where, the little zigzag things on the top of the skull that go, okay? These only have 2, and it's right here in an oval shape around the head. And there are 2 extra holes in the back of the skull for an artery or something, a vein or something to go in to feed that. There's no cradle boarding. Because the cradle boarding skulls are elongated, but they have the 3 sagittal sutures like humans, or a normal human skull. And there's hair still attached to some of these skulls, and they've done DNA testing on them.
And it's red hair. That's the other fun part about it all. The red-headed giants.
Yep.
I don't know. I'd have to see it because I don't know.
Okay.
Honestly, that's one I'd have to see because I do not know. Now, according to the Afghani stuff, the giants that they saw there had orange hair. And there were soldiers who used to talk about how certain villagers would dress in orange and they would dye their sheep orange at certain times of the year and never explain why they did it. And they said, well, was this some sort of, unity with these orange-haired giants? Was this an offering? Who knows? But the point is, I'm going to be shadow on this one. I need to see the bones in front of my eyes.
Well, go look that up. Go look up the whole legend of Love Lock Cave. What happened was these giants were eating the Indians, the Native Americans in that area, and they chased them into this cave and lit
and then
a
they put
fire.
Wood in it and lit a big fire in front of it and go, I know the story, Raven. I know.
Yeah. So they have one of those skulls there, that local museum.
Yeah, I'll have to see it with my own eyes someday, or not, but I don't believe it.
And
I just don't.
It does not have, that particular skull does not have elongated. No, it looks like a normal human skull, really.
Okay.
Until you put it, except the jaw's real thick, much bigger. They had 2 rows of teeth, and they had 6 fingers and 6 toes. And that's consistent with the reports from all the other Native Americans that did business with them. Some of them did business with the giants, and they gave them an offering every year, usually an Indian bride. But some of them did trading and so forth with them. And the descriptions are very consistent. And it's like...
Where's Shadwell go? Jack, where's Shad Gun?
I have no idea where he's gone. I think the lizard men got him.
Lizard people.
He came in here and said my battery was gonna die soon, and he hasn't been seen since.
Abducted.
Yep.
He's getting probed right now.
He's back from his probing. How do you feel?
No, it's my battery's also about to die. Apparently, we were lucky to get 2 hours out of our devices without being, plugged in or whatever. I'm now plugged in and holding strong at 14%.
I'm at 31.
All right, what's the next one? Come on, let's go one more. Let's do one more. Come on.
All right, one more. Elisa Lam.
Make it a good one. Lisa Lam is a weird one.
See the one that girl in the elevator?
Who went up in the water tank. Yeah.
It's real simple. She wasn't at home. She was in like a foreign country, I want to say, off her meds, and basically was just having an episode. And then
how did she end up floating in that water?
She crawled up into a water tank at the top of the building, hiding from her perceived pursuers that no one else saw, and unfortunately perished. That's my take.
Maybe, but there's a lot of questions about how she could have been able to open the water tank and seal it behind her and all that kind of stuff. There's like weird shit going on there.
Yeah, she could have been done away with, but there's no.
I was watching a separate program. It had nothing to do. They weren't talking about her. And that particular hotel has been haunted from day one, and it's on some type of a intersection of ley lines. And the Native Americans wouldn't touch that place and said it was a cursed piece of land, and they built on it anyway. And it's very haunted.
Next.
Next.
Yeah, next.
This is a quick one.
Epstein links.
Oh, dude.
It's just the links between famous people and the activities that they got up to.
Not a conspiracy.
Not a conspiracy.
Not a
At this
conspiracy.
point, it's been confirmed. There's not really
The crazier it is, the more likely it is to be true on that one.
The better
Just
conspiracy is Epstein actually still alive and they faked his death.
Oh yeah, that's possible.
Wouldn't surprise me one bit.
Wouldn't surprise me one bit either.
Chewie. Yeah, no, Chewie thinks he's still alive.
Good for Chewie.
He's a smart
Well
dog.
Yeah. You want to move on to the next one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Terra Calico picture. It
Huh?
was. I don't think there's that much of a conspiracy behind it. I think the bigger mystery is why it's there in the first place. Was a girl who was kidnapped, and then a picture of her showed up in an alley, not an alley, in a parking lot, and then no other information about her was found since. And that was like 4 years ago.
Actually, she was abducted. The picture is of her tied up and gagged.
Oh yeah,
and it was
yeah.
found. I'm pretty sure if you dig around, you'll find that they found her. She was murdered, and the real conspiracy revolves around the police department of the area because it looks like one of the officers was behind it. And again, this sort of thing happens every single freaking day, and it's a crying shame that such things happen. The weirder thing, like Jackie said, is why is it on this list? Considering all of the other things that are on the list, and not to play this one down at all because it was a tragedy, but is there a link to this one to other conspiracies? Maybe we'll have to find out because it could easily have been linked to the one we just talked about, or several we're about to talk about.
Yeah, there are 13 more. I don't know how many. If we want to go through them all, or
I'm awake, so we might as well keep going.
All right.
Yeah, I'm still at 14. So.
In the
Can you repeat that?
The Mad Gas. Hold on, let me get closer to the camera. The Mad Gasser of Mattoon was in the 1950s. A bunch of people reported getting sprayed with gas, feeling these strange sicknesses.
In their windows and shit like that. Yeah, I remember hearing about this. Yeah.
And the police just ruled it mass hysteria, despite a bunch of people supposedly seeing this Mad Gasser.
Yeah, and not much to work with on that one, other than did it happen, did not happen, who knows?
Yeah, that's really.
Actually, I was actually thinking about it, and thinking how it could tie to others, and my personal brain went to maybe this was some sort of amateur mad scientist, and whatever he came up with might have been taken over by other people and used elsewhere, maybe chemtrails or something like that, maybe whatever he came up with, whatever gas he was using or gas is, maybe it got then into the hands of, somebody bigger, and they decided to, maybe use it in subways or God only knows. It's weird.
I have my own theory about it, and it revolves around the fact that a lot of people think that it was a woman who was doing it. And you were saying that this might be like the origin story of chemtrails. That was the first guy to invent whatever that gas was. So maybe the Mad Gasser of Mattoon was actually Raven, and that is why she made such a big deal about chemtrails, because she was actually the one to invent the stuff that they're putting in the chemtrails.
It's fascinating.
Dad, you called me out, Jackie. Damn.
Yep.
Gigs up.
Yeah. That's why you were stalling the technology.
See, we broke the story, folks.
Yeah.
We broke the story. Raven's origin story. And of course, that gas also imparts immortality. That's why she's still with us. Yeah.
It's
So the next knock you hear, Raven, just saying.
And Crafting Gamer, I agree. I totally agree with you about the History Channel. I don't watch it anymore. But I do know a team that actually went to that hotel. I personally know a team that paranormal investigators that went to that hotel. So that one, at least in part, is true.
What was that?
But yeah, I agree with you about the History Channel. Yeah.
Made you.
Next.
Okay.
Sorry, Bear.
The next one is Stonehenge.
Oh, my favorite. I love Stonehenge. I love Stonehenge. That's number one on my bucket list. I love Stonehenge. I will get there
Hey,
one day.
Raven, other Raven, long time no see. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Haven't seen Raven Wolfgar in a million years. If you haven't checked out his channel on Saturday mornings, please do so. He's a fun guy. Raven, I think you and Raven would get along like how you get along famously. Um, he's into a lot of the same stuff you are.
Mm,
Good to see you, Raven.
cool.
Yep.
So Stonehenge.
So yeah, you seem to be passionate about the big rock. So
Yeah, I made a wood hinge here, a replica of Stonehenge here on my property. I'll show you a
I
picture of
once
it.
made a fish stick henge.
You what? Fish
I
stick?
once made a
Fish stick henge. I was bored, and I started stacking fish sticks like they were Stonehenge. I actually think the most interesting thing I saw was this one girl who showed how actually Stonehenge is just the stone framework, and the rest was all wood. It was actually like a Celtic, or not Celtic, but like a, whatever was there, tribal chieftain's palace essentially.
No,
And over the
you know,
years, the wood's gone and all that. It's pretty fucking interesting, and it does seem to make a lot of sense. But whatever the case may is, we don't know. We weren't there.
you have ley lines that converge there at
jeez.
Stonehenge. And
There's reaction.
these are what you use. These will react to energy, okay? These are called L rods
dowsing. We're doing dowsing
because they are
now.
shaped like the letter L, right? Okay, so when you are walking the perimeter of Stonehenge on the outside of the stones, these will point to the stones all the way around. And when you step back away from it, then they'll go straight forward. Okay, there is energy. They put those in that configuration in that certain way. Somehow they knew, and you know we can see it now with our modern instruments, but back then they didn't. Well, we presume they did not have modern day instruments. It is a fascinating place. Now, there's unsubstantiated stories of UFOs powering up using the energy. You know, there's all kinds of crazy shit that goes on there. But I can tell you
There's
that
the
when you
first part
put
of everything you just said that I agree with.
when you get the ley lines are natural, like the veins of the planet. That's the energy travels. The electromagnetic energy travels on these ley lines. LEY is how they're spelled, ley lines. Okay, and where they intersect is where you will find trees that will twist. Their trunks will be twisted. I have one. I have several of them here on this property where I live right now. I have a really groovy walking stick that's twisted like that. It's really wizardly. But anyway, that energy is also dangerous because you'll find where they'll intersect. If there's a road involved, that's where you'll find a lot of car accidents. And it's unhealthy to have your bed, in fact, above where the ley line crosses underneath, or any underground stream or small river. All kinds of health problems. They did a study in Germany of this town that had some tributaries going down towards a river, and where those people had their, beds situated and so forth. The people got better. Make the long story short, the people got better once they rearranged stuff and they did not sleep on a crossing of ley lines. All kinds of ailments, but there's something to it. It messes with the human energy system.
Raven and Bear and Jackie, the thought occurs to me. This woman is meant to play Palladium, not Dungeons and Dragons. Just saying.
Palladium? I don't know what that
I was
is.
going to say, I know what ley lines are. I've played Rifts.
It's a role playing game where everything you just said is actually real.
It is real,
and
though. It is real.
It's part and parcel of all the game mechanics. And if you stand on a ley line nexus, you get a boost of magical power to do your magical shenanigans. And you would love it. You'd absolutely love it. I'll have to send you one later.
It's actually not healthy for you, and it would in reality, it would decrease your ability and your immune system. But anyway, what Bear?
Okay, is my answer. Okay.
Okay.
Clearly, you believe this. Therefore, okay.
Well, there's science to back it up.
Yeah, I have a friend who has their degree in ley linology. It's quite interesting.
You're so funny. Though I love you, but you're just an ass sometimes. You know what?
Yes, ma'am. No, excuse me. I'm a dick. There's a difference.
Okay. There is science. There is studies. There is science.
Okay.
It's funny we went down. It's funny we went down this rabbit hole because I was wondering or thinking that the conspiracy would be because the original one was back in my day because I'm older than you guys. How it was built. How they got those big rocks up on top of those other big rocks. And then I saw a video that I shared with Raven where one guy is moving these massive pillars by just counterweights and getting things to tilt and then put stuff under it and then boom and then boom to boom and eventually that sort of thing. But we went to ley lines, so this is a multifaceted conspiracy.
Those stones came from Wales. How the hell did they get them 300 miles away from the Priscilla?
Who makes whales out of stone?
Huh?
You meant
Welsh.
The Welsh. Yeah, from Wales. The Welsh. 300 miles away. The Priscilla Mountains are where those stones come from.
Being so damn heavy.
They were kidney stones from great whales. Anyway, what's next? Because let's get something more fun happening here.
COINTELPRO.
Yeah, that's not a conspiracy theory. That's just truth.
I didn't hear him.
COINTELPRO.
Counterintelligence programs. CIA infiltrating groups that they didn't like in America. Supposedly they infiltrated civil rights groups and also the KKK. Wide spectrum of things.
Yeah, why wouldn't isn't that their job? Isn't that their literal job description?
Yeah, I guess maybe back in the day people were more worried about it. The next one is the Mao Yale conspiracy.
What's that?
Hey, what's up, Bubba?
That Yale, the university, had connections to Mao and communist China, and that not Marxist, but specifically Maoist ideology was spread through that school system.
Back in the day. Back when he was actually alive.
Yeah, back
when he was,
Wouldn't surprise me. Communism's big on American campuses.
Yeah, it has been for a long time, and that's just like the origin story.
Probably. Soviets were infiltrating American society for a long time. They had massive spy networks.
They literally said they were going to do that.
Is the inverse of that? Was that the Americans were always getting caught when they tried to infiltrate Soviet society, and then the Soviet guys would use the radio frequencies and say, yes, things are going great, send more resources. So the CIA kept pumping more money into the Soviet fucking Union because they were idiots. The CIA, can they do anything right other than kill Kennedy?
That was the one thing they were successful at during that era. All right, let's move on to the next one. The I-70 killer. I'm guessing the conspiracy is just who he was, or
that's the guy who was killing people at the women at the stores. Was that that guy?
Yes.
Yeah, that was fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think again, this is one of those. Why is it on the list, and what does it connect to that we're not aware of? It's one of those mysteries that we should, maybe try to, figure out what it connects to. If anything,
I'll be right back. Keep going. I'll be right back.
I personally think it's either one of those red herrings. They just put it on there because why not? Because there are literally hundreds, if not thousands, of serial killers that have never been caught, at least in the United States, and most of them we don't even know about. So why this one? It wasn't like it was, the Zodiac killer that everybody knew about, kind of thing. It's just one of those, you know, limited, sprees of killing, if you will, and then it just disappeared, and the guy got away, or maybe he didn't, and maybe he, went into Congress or the Senate or something, and was too busy to continue, or I don't even, I don't understand why it's on the list when, we have such, epic topics, that preceded it.
I was wondering the same thing of why is this here. So I was researching. This is one that I researched extensively, and the only thing really connected I found was that it was this one other killer that was found, like he killed himself in his house, and there was a bunch of bodies there. But it doesn't really make sense why it would be the same guy. They were just in a similar location. So I don't believe that was the guy. It doesn't really seem like a conspiracy. But what I did found is an article by thewhatandthewhy.com/was Bob Ross a serial killer?
Bob Ross.
The painter.
He's a painter.
Yeah.
The happy little trees.
Yeah, no, and they're talking about like unveiling the truth about Bob Ross, alleged serial killer, and then they're like, like there's no evidence debunking the Bob Ross serial killer myth. Where does this myth come from? I've never once heard somebody say that Bob Ross was a serial killer.
Me neither. This is a news flash to me.
Like this.
How can the happy little tree man be a serial killer? That's weird.
Well, no. The weird thing is, this is an
Right,
article.
George. Blasphemy. It's blasphemy.
About it like this is some common misconception, but
although you know what though, I could see it being real. If someone told me it was real, I would not be surprised. Because I always worry about people that are that, mellow and chill. You just know that there's some weird shit going on inside that's just waiting for a minute.
drill sergeant.
Well, he was an ex-Marine and did have PTSD, so.
It was not.
Oh, he was an ex-Marine?
Well, sorry, he was a Marine. You're never an ex-Marine. So.
Bubba, that's awful. The paintings are his graveyards.
But yeah, I just felt the need to bring it up because the I-70 killer conspiracy, I don't really see anything about it being conspiracy. To me, the bigger conspiracy is why is there an article debunking the myth of Bob Ross being a serial killer? Like, is that a myth? Like, is that a myth that is constantly?
Don't know. Let's see. Okay, Raven says there's a conspiracy theory going around that Mr. Rogers had a couple of tours in Vietnam and had his arms sleeved in tattoos, but that was debunked. Oh.
Okay. All right.
What's next? Next on the list.
Let's get back to something Raven and I can argue about. That's more fun.
Yeah. Let me find it. Mind over body. I don't remember that one. Shadow, I think you talked about it. What was it?
It's just the belief that you can, trick or hypnotize or condition yourself to do crazy shit. And absolutely, it's no conspiracy. It's just rare. People have been able to, walk on coals and all kinds of weird stuff throughout the ages of mankind. And, we're capable of more than we let ourselves believe at times, but more often than not, we're not that guy. They're few and far between, and I think everybody's got some inner potential that's untapped, and maybe this is one of those gateways leading to the deeper levels, which definitely would make sense. They definitely tie into this idea, the placebo effect.
But there's also
Raven.
Going into theta. When you go into the theta brain waves, you can do healing and shrink tumors.
They're fake roses, but thanks. They're plastic.
What?
Sydney says they're pretty roses, and I was telling her they're fake.
Mine aren't.
And the power of suggestion, I've seen that. I've seen some crazy stuff with the power of suggestion.
Yeah, there's your brain, and and everybody has it. Some people are born with that, with the ability to access it without hindrance. Just like some people can pick up a tennis racket and play better than others. But everybody's got the equipment to do this, and it's just a matter of focused intention. If you can clear out
Well,
all
except
the
Stephen Hawking.
distraction, huh? What'd you say?
Shut up.
What did you say?
I said except Stephen
ignore
Hawking.
him.
I still didn't hear what you said.
Stephen Hawking.
Stephen Hawking. Okay, I don't understand
He's
that.
got none of that. He's got none of that. He couldn't
Well,
do shit.
Anyway, alpha. You're in an alpha state, like when you're watching TV, and when you're in an alpha state, you're highly suggestible. That's why the Project Mockingbird was so effective when they were doing all the stuff in the ads and so forth. And they still, I don't believe they disbanded Project Mockingbird at all. But if you can get down then into the theta, the next level, it's the dreamless sleep, but you're not asleep. That's where you can really tap into some brain power to heal the body.
All right, on to the Majestic 12.
Ooh, MJ12.
The supposed group of people founded by Harry Truman to talk about aliens.
No, to discredit, to keep the alien thing secret.
Yeah.
That was its.
Panel
boys, they
job
failed.
was.
Matters. The Bureau of Alien Affairs. That's what it was.
Mhm.
It's been debunked pretty heavily, and not by government people, but like investigators who have looked at the. It's a psyop. It was a psyop. Basically, they looked at the typewriter that was used for the supposed letters, and the typewriter wasn't made yet. That they used to create the year that the Majestic 12 documents are supposedly from, the typewriter was like 5-10 years later got made, so it was obviously like just bullshit. But then the counter argument is, well, it was just a retyping that someone did of it later. So like, it's just that move the goalpost, and you guys know I'm a UFO guy, and MJ12 I think is bullshit.
I don't think it's bullshit.
What? No. You and I disagree on something, Raven? Not fucking possible.
No, and the one guy that jumped out the window, supposedly jumped out the window to commit suicide, then they hauled off. Yeah,
that's there could be, because he was also part of High Jump, and High Jump could have been the reason he was thrown out a fucking window. We don't know. Like Forrestal was involved in a lot of shit.
Ironic.
Forrestal argued with
say a
them
funny
and
way
said,
to
no,
die.
the American public needs to know these things. We can't keep this secret. That's wrong. And he was like the only one. He didn't have a whole lot of people that agreed with him on that. And so they haul him off to the mental hospital. Don't let his family see him. No phone calls out, no visitors out or in. And then the next thing you know, he's dead on the pavement after being strangled and then pushed out the window. Because you're not going to strangle yourself and then throw yourself out the window. You can't do both. You got to do one or the other.
Well,
Like shooting yourself in the head with a nail gun.
Listen, American know-how can get things done.
The old expression, if at first you don't succeed, try again. Maybe he couldn't do the deed, so he's like, screw it, throw my stuff out the window.
Or maybe he was just like really incompetent. He was trying to try his bathrobe, and he got around his back. He's like, "What the hell?" And then he staggered back and fell out the window. I mean,
But it's impossible to at least try both. Even if he strangles himself to death, he could have like a thing where it's set up so after he's dead, he like falls through the window after the fact.
Yeah, who's going to do that?
It could have been a horrible case of autoerotic self-asphyxiation gone wrong.
Like Phil Schneider.
Phil Schneider, what a fucking joke.
Yeah.
That's what they say about Phil Schneider.
The next one is Red Squads.
What? Red Squads?
We need Red Squads. We need more.
Red Squads.
Red Squads.
Okay, well, I don't know. The hell.
Jackie.
Red Squads were a sort of not necessarily a single organization, but groups of police officers and government agents that would infiltrate communist groups and deal with them in various different ways.
Oh yeah, that's plausible. Yeah, there were
Like I
quite a
said,
few.
we need more.
There were quite a few communist groups here in World War II that they were infiltrating. Yeah, make sure there weren't going to be a problem.
I thought they were
Yeah.
after
I
World
believe
War
it.
II.
Yeah, I believe it.
I believe it.
All right, the next one, The Secret. It's in italics.
Oh,
Raven, do you know what
oh
this
my
is?
God.
Oh yeah,
I
I
know
do.
what this is.
Yeah,
Yeah, utter bullshit.
had the movie.
Absolute fucking woo woo.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
the whole manifesting thing. It's
Mhm.
pretty cringe.
The manifestation,
Yeah,
the way
I can sum
they
it up.
presented it is not a good formula. It's not. It's really
Yeah,
oversimplified.
let's make all our dreams come true by not doing anything about it.
Yeah, there's a lot more to it. A lot more to it. Now, the Emerald
Oh, I know.
Tablet.
I used to own the book. I know.
I did
I know.
too. I had the book and the movie. I
It
ate
made
it
it
up
made a
at the
great.
time.
It made a great coaster.
Yeah, it's a time. Oh, I ate it up. I made my list of 10 things every morning and all this shit. Yeah, I did my vision boards and yeah, did it all.
And what manifested for you?
Nada.
How'd that work out for you?
On the vision boards, didn't you?
So there's a lot more to it.
I think I might still have one somewhere too. Don't feel bad, Raven. I got one somewhere too.
Yeah. Well, it just oversimplified, and it was just the whole thing's just a misgiven. But manifestation is something that's real. Einstein talks about it, but it's not the way that it's presented in the secret, and it's not just
Well,
easy there.
you
and
gotta actually follow through.
Yeah, you got to do some stuff, and you got to do some clearing of some stuff too. Because if you've got a subconscious program that says money is evil, that you adopted, from the people around you when you were little, if that is set in your subconscious mind, you're not going to be rich. You're going to have difficulty attracting money. You got to get rid of that and clear that money is evil, or whatever negative thought you've got towards money, if that's what you're trying to manifest. Most people are, for example. What are you laughing
Bubba,
at now?
dude. Where
That's what manifests.
Yeah, that's funny.
Bubba, you want to join us next time? Because damn, dude, I've been trying to get a hold of you. I wanted to invite you this morning, man. You got to come on next time. Just saying.
Yeah. All right. Is there anything more you guys want to say about this?
No.
All right.
No, we might manifest the end of the show if we're not careful.
There's only 4 more, so we might as well just go through.
Yeah, I'm actually at 21%, so I'm feeling frisky.
Oh yeah, I'm at 14%. Okay, let's do this. Acupuncture. Conspiracy is acupuncture is actually super cool, and it's being discredited by Big Pharma and stuff.
Of course, it's being discredited by Big Pharma.
The Cato Institute did a study on this, and they've proved one thing that acupuncture was good at: relieving lower back pain.
I've had acupuncture.
All the other shit that it's supposed to do, it can cure cancer, baby. No. But it can relieve lower back pain, apparently. So that's cool.
It can be part of a treatment to heal cancer if you've got blocked meridians. But, I mean, it in and of itself is not going to cure cancer. No.
Now, what happens if my blocked meridians? What if my blocked meridians cross a ley line? What happens then?
You're fucked. You're just completely
my
fucked.
chakras explode?
Bubba, it's Monday and you're here, so I don't understand.
Yeah.
You get a cancellation and just decided to come with us? I'll take it, just saying.
Yeah. All right, the next one, Max Headroom incident. Fairly well known.
Oh, yeah, that weird where they took over, they hijacked the broadcast. Yeah. I don't think it's a conspiracy, but it's a cool thing.
Yeah.
I think the conspiracy is who were they? How did they not get caught? And will it happen again?
Well, it hasn't happened in the 30 years since, so no.
Yeah, I think it was just worse technology. They weren't really that good at figuring stuff out, and I doubt it was. I mean, obviously they were looking into it, but it wasn't the biggest deal to them. I don't think it's that big of a conspiracy. All right, I
Nor
think the
do
next
I.
two are going to be really fun. Though, admittedly, the next one is also very vague and also not really a conspiracy, it's just a fact. UN agenda. The theory that the UN has an agenda.
Yep.
I assume it means globalist of New World Order type nature.
Yep. You can Google it. You can read it. By 2030, they want everybody in their little 11-minute cities eating hamburgers made of mosquitoes and other bugs. And
You will eat the bugs and you will be happy.
yeah, you'll own nothing and you'll be happy. That's their motto by
All for the
2030.
benefit of the planet. I am
I
Klaus
read the whole
Schwab.
thing. It's diabolical. It is, and they were talking about the way they want to do clothing. They want to totally revamp how clothes are made. It's just it's messed up. It's totally messed up. And
Are we gonna go back to togas? Is that the deal? Because I'm okay with that.
Shut up. What was the guy's name? How did I forget his name? The
Schwab?
egghead guy. Klaus Schwab, yeah.
Klaus Schwab.
Klaus Schwab.
Yeah,
Hi, I'm Klaus Schwab. How are you?
yeah.
Hold up. when you
Public
say
enemy
he wants to
number
revamp
one.
Clothing. I saw a photo of him in a very strange costume. Yeah, the one in the spacesuit. With his monocle. Why was he wearing that?
He was
I have no idea.
cosplaying as Stavro Blofeld in Moonraker.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I don't know if there's that much more to talk about with UN agenda.
No,
It's
we're
there.
not
It's real. Google it.
Yeah. All right.
because Google never lies.
The last and final conspiracy: androids. I imagine it's going the Mark Zuckerberg route of AI humans. There are robots living among us, stuff like that. Perhaps theories of
Fembots and that sort of thing. Fembots and Future World and Westworld, that kind of thing. That there are androids already walking among us, or they're going to make androids and we're all going to, have to do what they say or something. I don't know. It's
I have a lot to say about
This is
one.
my Android, and it has a mind of its own. Let me tell you.
All right. I have a lot to say about this. I have recently become a very firm believer in android conspiracies, and I'll explain why very soon. But Raven, what is your thought on android conspiracy whatevers?
I think that's where they want to take us. Yeah, yeah.
Right,
Silicon
Bear?
Valley wants to take us that way, and plus they've got these. I read somewhere this that they are actually changing our DNA through these nanobots that they have now put into the chemtrails, so we're breathing them, which is plausible. I mean, they've got these little things, and they're self-replicating. They use them to fight cancer when they inject them into your body to eat cancer cells and stuff. They could. It's plausible. The technology exists now. Whether it's true or not, I have no idea. But
we do.
Oh yeah, no, we know.
Okay.
Bear, what's your thoughts?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, we're through the fucking looking glass at this point in the land of woo woo. Trust me, if I could have a fembot wife, I'd sign up tomorrow. Are you kidding me? Come on.
Yeah, I'll bring back Raven Wolfgar's comment. Cherry 2000,
Yeah.
anyone?
Exactly.
Yes,
I want to be Tim Thomerson.
So, Raven, what happens if the nanobot laced chemtrails cross a ley line? Do we have to start again?
go back to my ear. You're fucked.
I mean, good God, people. No.
Oh, look, Bill Gates has genetically modified mosquitoes, for fuck's sake. Okay.
Yes, you know what they modified them to do, right?
Wasn't it?
And malaria.
End
yeah.
malaria?
Yes, they basically are introduced into mosquito populations to hunt and kill the malaria-carrying mosquitoes.
Oh, and do
That's
they
why they
work?
did this.
Well, I've seen
50-50.
videos of them dumping it out all over the place.
It's 50-50.
Still going to bite people, though.
I'm still going. Of course, they're going to bite people. You should be way more worried about the fucking modified ticks they released from Montauk. They
What?
took the fucking okay. So this is not conspiracy theory. This is real.
Yeah, I
one
want
of
to
the
know about
fucking
this because I got
projects they
bit by
did.
one.
Well, what they did was they modified ticks, specifically the star tick, which is the only tick that aggressively hunts, as opposed to the rest that passively wait for you to get close to them and then jump on, or brush against the grass. The star tick from Texas, the Texas star tick, hunts. It's aggressive.
Yes.
So they modified them. They did a bunch of shit. Then they irradiated them, and then they released them into the fucking wild. And they've been tracking them, and they've been spreading slowly northward from where they released them. They're getting close to Canada now. Is fucked up. And I don't need nanobots and chemtrails for that.
No.
That's the point. Like, this is okay. Look, guys, this is the problem with all of the stuff we go down in these things. We go into these fucking insane places where hidden technology is being used and vast government conspiracies are happening to create android people. The shit that we know they're doing is bad enough. That's what we should be talking about. Because the thing is, the average fucking person, the minute you start saying chemtrails, ley lines, and nanobots, goes, and they tune out. And as a result, they buy the fucking party line, they watch the TV, they listen to the bullshit, they get their news from MSDNC and whatever the case may be.
And they're going to be drinking maggot milk pretty soon because Bill Gates just came out with that a couple of weeks ago. Maggot milk. And that sounds appetizing.
Is Bill Gates essentially like Dr. Doom in your philosophy?
Well, hey, he's the one who's doing it. I'm not feeding diabolical ideas, but my God, the man's sick. He's sick in the head. The fuck? Who wants to drink maggot milk? And they had a whole video on how they were, how these little kids were catching all these bugs and mosquitoes, and they were making hamburgers out of them.
So let me ask you a question. Which generation is Bill Gates?
I don't know. I think he's older than us, isn't he?
He's a boomer. He's a boomer.
Yeah.
Once again, proving.
Take care, Cindy. Thanks for joining us.
Bye, Cindy. Take care.
Cindy. Thanks for your
Boomers are
help.
literally the worst generation that ever lived, and they're destroying the world slowly.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we need to worry about. I mean, it's fun to go down these conspiracy rabbit holes and talk about all this weird shit, and it's fun. But there are actual, real, tangible problems we have that we're not talking about because we're too distracted by this stuff.
Right. Agreed.
But it's way more fun to talk about ley lines and nanobots than it is to talk about the actual horror show that they put on the planet for us to live with.
Yeah.
All right. I guess it's time for my take on the Android conspiracy.
Yes, I want to hear this.
You
said you're a believer. I want to hear it.
Yes, and it's based purely off of this graph that I didn't just make right now. So the green line is how human Mark Zuckerberg seems over time. Starts off at absolute zero. He's saying stuff like, because we all make mistakes, because everyone's human, and I was human. And then he goes on to correct himself. And then suddenly he gets a little more human after he disappears for a while. And then now he's like attending all this jujitsu stuff, and now he's super based and super human looking or whatever.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Graph representing the convincingness of AI over time. It was all right, but then it just boomed all of a sudden over the last few years. Coincidentally lining up at the same time that Mark Zuckerberg disappears. Was it that this whole AI testing thing, this whole phase of the AI getting super good with all its new stuff, was actually just to make Mark Zuckerberg look more human? This whole time they were using a psyop to make us think he was a lizard person, but in actuality, he was a robot the whole entire time. Why do you think that idea, that theory was suppressed, and the he's a lizard person was promulgated so much, and everyone's like, oh no, he's not a robot, he's a lizard. Like, no, he was clearly a robot the whole time. And this graph right here, this boom in AI, it's the proof.
Well, I can't argue hard science like that.
I thought he was when they were having those hearings and stuff, and he was having to appear before Congress on that stuff. He looked like Data from Star Trek New Generation. He reminded me so much of Data. Yeah, he looked like an
You
android.
guys realize Mark Zuckerberg is just weaponized autism, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so is
Kind of like
Bill Gates. Bill
kind of
Gates
like
is,
this show.
Bill Gates is weaponized Asperger's. It's just, come on, guys. We don't need fucking conspiracy theories to deal with the fact that these people are fucking hyper-focused, insane sociopaths. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they are. They definitely are.
Okay, is Tier 2 more fun than Tier 1? Because Tier 1 was a lot of, well, we don't know why this is here, but it's a word. Is Tier 2 more like, all right, let's get into some shit,
Yeah.
Good.
It
Let's
doesn't
pick your favorite topic off of Tier 2 right now, and let's just do it.
I haven't even looked at it yet.
That's the best part. We'll have to go raw. We'll do it live. Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Tier 2 is a lot better. There's still some of that weirder stuff. Tier 3 is once like all that stuff is gone. But
yeah, he did. He looked soulless. Exactly. I agree. There's like lights are on, but nobody's home when you look in his eyes. Yeah.
Clearly a robot.
The Large Hadron Collider's on there.
That's fun.
Right? Yep.
Why does their logo have 666 in it?
Just to fuck with people, probably.
Never discount, much like heavy metal bands, the power of nerds to do shit just to fuck with you.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Dead internet theory. The idea that I know this one. What's the dead internet theory?
That most of it's run by bots and not people.
Yeah, the majority of the internet is just bots, and there aren't that many real people on it.
Are you a bot? I'm a bot. Wouldn't you like to be a bot too? Be a bot. Drink, Dr. Bot.
It's funny you say that, Bear. I used to play D&D with Joe Tatner, who was one of the 2 Dr. Pepper singer dancers for those commercials.
Ah, cool. That's funny.
That's cool.
That's weird.
He was really good at it, too.
What's your favorite conspiracy so far, Jackie? And you look very nice tonight, by the way. Very professional.
You don't look at all like a serial killer.
Yeah, from just Tier 1?
What's your favorite one?
From just Tier 1, it would be... I kind of liked the Mad Gasser one, especially because I was able to tie it into Raven and expose her for the truth that she was the Mad Gasser.
That's my boy. That's my boy.
My favorite one was Stonehenge because Raven went right the fuck off into woo-woo land on that one.
Yeah, that was
not
fun.
anything. That's not. You ain't seen nothing yet. That's where we're.
Oh yeah. Something tells me that cities are gonna. Oh.
Say what?
Oh, my favorite. You mean the one that you like the most, or the one that spurgs you out the most? Because I'm torn. I like spurging. So it would be Pizzagate or something like that because, that needs to be stopped. But for fun, I don't know. I think I'm going to have to go with the androids because that's just, right up my alley with the sci-fi and that sort of thing. Because if they were, on the market, because I do watch that Ask Raven. I've been looking into that and following that for many years. The bots that are eventually going to be able to get pregnant and that sort of thing. The potentiality of what can be done were that to be a thing. If they were literally, walking, talking, serving you martini, test tube baby incubators. The things that could do to society, either fixing it or destroying it. Take your pick.
Destroying it.
Either one's kind of fun. Um, and just the whole idea, robots. I mean, having little machines that you can talk to and they do what you say and they don't complain about it unless you go the Robin Williams Bicentennial Man and you get the one with the attitude, which who doesn't want that in their house? If you haven't seen Bicentennial Man, it's one of Robin Williams' two best movies, if you ask me. At least one of my two favorite of his movies. The other one being What Dreams May Come. It's that one conspiracy that's got the potential for utter doom or some pretty cool shit. The Rosie bot from the Jetsons on up.
I just want to know when I can get my fembot wife.
Right?
Where's my fembot, Bill Gates? Raven, you are the glitch in the Matrix. I want you to know that.
I would like to talk to Raven.
Raven's a cool dude. He's now on Substack. He says he's now on Substack. But you could go back. I'll send you some stuff where you can get a hold of him. He's a cool dude. But his show is on Saturday morning, it used to be on Saturday morning, which made it really hard for me to catch. But when I did, it was always, very fun to hang out with him.
If you still have a show, write down in the chat room when your show is. If you would, please.
That's why I don't play Cyberpunk anymore. I live in Cyberpunk.
Yeah, that was one of my least favorite genres was cyberpunk. The whole idea of lopping off things and attaching new things, just no thanks. I mean, I get it. If you lose a thing and you want to replace the thing, okay, that's fine. I get that. But to date, I haven't lost any things, and I'm going to kind of try to keep it that way. So, adding new parts. I mean, unless they were, like lab vat grown parts that I could get on board with, because I don't know about you, but, I'm kind of attached to this body and replacing it with something cold and steel and mechanical and needs oiling and, regular maintenance. I ain't about regular maintenance, trust me.
Well, there's that one king, that Celtic king that had a bionic arm. I don't think of his name. King Lou? Is that right?
I think so. It is something like that, King Lou or Lou.
Yeah, they made basically a bionic arm for him because you can't be king and have any kind of deformity or any body parts missing. Merlin, I think, is the one responsible for that. So what technology did Merlin know?
Merlin's
Take care, Bubba. I will see you Wednesday.
Well, it was fun.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good time.
It was fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think we were going to make it through all, 30 or 40 topics, which is amazing. The next ones, we didn't do any, or at least I didn't do any research into the next tier because it's, the tiers actually don't they get bigger as we go down?
Yes,
I think
As
so.
in more topics and deeper. These ones.
I think
What'd you say, Jackie?
Okay.
tier 0 or tier 10 has, I think, the least amount of items, but they're also like the deepest on the iceberg.
Tier 0 just says Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
I know, right? Before we go, I have a little game I want to play. If we get, any kind of issues with YouTube, what's the pool? I'm gonna guess that it's. I'm just gonna go with Epstein. If they complain or put one of those little banners below, what are your guys' guess? If we get one of those, what's it gonna be?
A strike or something. Okay. Well,
I'm going to guess they won't tell us. It'll just be a strike, but we don't get to know why there was a strike.
Because we've gotten one before. It wasn't a full strike or anything, but they're like, one episode they took down because we were talking about something that wasn't allowed to be talked about a year ago.
The vacation.
Pretty much guess what that was. And then the other one we got one of the banners for climate change because we were talking about it, and they're like, "Ooh, we can't talk about that in that context." And so I'm going to go with Epstein. That they'll put something down below just saying that. But
I think might also get it.
Yeah.
What do you?
I'm looking through the other tiers right now. I think it's gonna be fun, especially once we get to the deeper ones. That woo-woo stuff Bear was talking about is.
I love my woo-woo.
By the end of this, there's gonna be a lot of it.
Nothing like good old-fashioned weapons grade woo-woo.
Yeah.
And for the record, folks,
global superpower when it comes to that.
When just for the record, folks, we won't be doing a show next week. Mr. Bear has a previous engagement, and it will give us time to go through this next year because we're all going to need, to do a bit more research than we did with this one. Most of this stuff was no-brainer, territory. We've grown up with this crap, but as it gets deeper and deeper down the iceberg, we will find more and more crazy stuff. Certainly things none of us have ever heard about, so that's going to make it fun.
Okay, cool. Yep. Raven's got the name of that king, that Celtic king I was trying to think of that had the mechanical prosthetic arm. Yeah, cool. Thank you.
Now be careful because Nuada might be spelled Nuada, but it is my ancestors, and they like to use letters that are pronounced completely different than you thought. So it could be Nrinchunuro. You don't fucking know.
I didn't know you were Swedish.
Siobhan. Siobhan. How the fuck do you get Siobhan out of Siobhan? Who is the handsome young man in the bottom right corner? The one with the waggedy tail.
What?
How much is that doggy in the window? You know that song, buddy?
Cindy Tarmac says you're quite handsome. You've just been getting all the compliments tonight. I'm telling you. This is why you need to come back more on the show. Just saying,
he needs to have a giant ego. Now you look good, brother. You look good.
Yes, he does.
He cleans up nice. Where do you see him in the next video?
I would very, very much be concerned about the fact that a bunch of people well over the age of 40 are telling you how good you look. You know what I mean? I'd be like, maybe they're not the best judges of what's in vogue these days. Just throwing that out there.
I'm hoping he'll break out some hats. Wear some hats.
You can't start doing that until you reach 1 million subscribers. Once you reach that, it's obligated. But until then, come on.
Well, I wish you subscribers then.
Yeah.
Right back at you, Bear.
Yeah.
Gonna call it a night. We went a little over, but I'm actually digging it that we made it this far and we made it through the he doesn't he? Raven Wolfgar says, homie looks like he's going to point a sonic screwdriver at us and order us into the TARDIS.
Yeah, Doctor Who. That's cool. Yes.
That's a compliment. You do have that David Tennant thing going on right now. Just saying, even though he turned into a freaking... My favorite Doctor has to turn into the biggest douchebag of them all. Why? I said such nice things about him, and then he goes and turns on me. Just saying.
Just so you know, there is help available online. You can sign up for free help, just in case you're wondering. He didn't do it to you, man. It's a TV show.
I know.
That's the point. I know. Besides which, because he slept on a ley line.
He landed on a ley line. All that energy got sucked up into the TARDIS. Next thing you know, freaking K9 can walk and shit.
No.
Okay, I'm gonna send you this. I'm gonna send you some email stuff, Bear, about this.
You know what, Raven?
Jesus, Raven, why? Why?
Don't you want to know?
No,
Don't
because
you
I
want
know
to know
it's
the truth?
bullshit.
Huh?
Okay.
What?
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
Raven, you know what? You were reading my damn mind. Eccleston was my second favorite. So I'll just have to go back and watch those. Who am I kidding? I'm never watching Doctor Who again.
Go ahead, Raven. Send me all your woo.
I'm gonna
You
say
better be
some
careful,
words.
man. Your computer might explode.
It's a Mac. It's worded.
Okay. It really is a real thing, though.
Yeah.
It really is.
And feng shui's real too.
That's all the and Raven brought this up earlier. I think it was Raven. That all the churches are built on ley lines
Of course they
and
are.
intersections of ley lines because
Of course
there's an increase of energy there, and they tap into that.
And bells were taken down during World War II because they provide harmonic healing for everybody. And stained glass windows actually show you the patterns of the necessary harmonies to reduce disease. Absolutely, I believe all of this.
I didn't know that about stained glass windows. What?
That was hilarious. He opened up the door just as the thing went.
Yeah, I saw that.
Motorized door.
What's up, Sport?
Hello. Well, yeah, his computer just died, or laptop just died.
So we're gonna have to end it on this,
Yeah.
folks. Thank you guys so much. This was a blast.
Yep. If you guys liked this discussion of conspiracies, cover-ups, and things such as,
Nice.
we hope to see everyone here on the next one, which will be in not next week, but the week after.
Same bad time, same bad channel.
Yep.
Thanks to everybody in the chat room tonight.
Yes, it was awesome. So, I guess we will call it a night. You guys have a great evening. Thanks again, everybody. We're gonna now go race to plug our stuff into the chargers so that we can watch YouTube for the rest of the evening.
Yep.
Oh, and one last thing, folks. Remember one thing. With all of this, the most important thing I can impart to you guys, and the scariest words ever uttered on the internet are,
It's all in Minecraft.
no. Do your own research, and until next time, folks.